Okay, mic test, 1 2 3, mic test 1 2 3 on air.
Mic test, 1, 2, 3.
क्या आवाज आ रही है? Good morning to all our viewers all around the world. And what a great day of cricket we've got lined up here for you. If you're working, I say you skip your work because it's a double header today at the ICC Cricket Academy. And the first game is the game of the tournament for me. It's UAE versus Cricket Ireland, the third T20 international, and it's going to be live in a few minutes. This is the decider, mind you. One each for both these teams, and today is what is all that matters. It's going to be the bragging rights on stake for UAE or Ireland. Who will win that is something to look forward to. With me in the com box, and I'm looking forward to it as well, is my co-commentator and a very good friend, Faizan.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. Yeah, a big day, a good day, and of course, a big day for these two sides that are playing the first game, UAE versus Ireland. Both are 1-1 in the series already, and we've seen some very topsy-turvy matches. The first one, it was all Ireland. The second one, it was all UAE. So it is going to be a very interesting encounter and the decider today. And it's always great to be a part of a decider. You've got that excitement going, and you want to know which team is going to do what. So it would be great to see what kind of changes that Ireland makes after the last loss.
Oh, that's right, absolutely. Looking forward to that game. But we also have another exciting game lined up. Cricket Namibia is going to play against Papua New Guinea, which have shown some real class, some real aggression, and some real character in this tournament. Yes, they lost their first game, but they looked a very, very strong side, a side to reckon with, and it is also, I feel, going to go to the wire. It's an exciting game of cricket, an exciting day of cricket as well, right here at Dafa News UAE. Summer T20 Bash 2021, powered by Sport Kali. We're live from ICC Academy ground. My name is Shoaib. With me in the com box is Faizan. And you're right about UAE and Ireland. That's the first game lined up, and that is the highlight, I would say, the showstopper of this tournament.
Absolutely brilliant cricket lined up today. Cricket Namibia also has impressed me really. In the last game yesterday, we thought that Scotland had a huge batting lineup and they're going to go all hammer and tongs against the bowling of Namibia. But, Namibia has come good. We have the Irish team already on our screens right now. The UAE team practicing as well, which is good to see. And it is a good day. The weather seems to be nice today. It's a little hazy out there. And normally that happens in this weather. But this has to be one of the hottest Octobers that we have seen in the UAE for a long, long time. I've been here in the UAE for almost 13 years now, and I haven't seen as hot an October as this October.
Absolutely right. Talking about the conditions, I think it's a hazy day today, a lot of fog while coming to the ground. So that will definitely play on the minds of the think tank of the UAE and the Irish side. It will be interesting to see what they do when they win the toss. What do you think is the right call to do? Personally, I feel chasing would be the right option. What do you think? What do you reckon?
Well, yesterday I thought that batting first is going to be good, but since the conditions were similar yesterday as well, I think it was a very good toss to win for Namibia. And Namibia did really good in the first few overs. They picked up 3 wickets for Scotland, put them on the back foot at the start of the innings. And this is what I think should be done. I back you up completely, Shoaib. And I think the team winning the toss should decide to bat later in the day because it's going to swing a little bit because of the conditions right now. There's going to be a little moisture in the wicket. And yesterday there was a lot of moisture in the wicket. The ball was not coming onto the bat early on.
That's right. As you can see on your screens right now, you can hardly see the buildings out there in the landscape. So that's how heavy the fog is. And it will get better for sure. And as Faizan rightly said, see there you go on the screens, a lot of fog. So there will be some moisture in the wicket. The pitch was not covered overnight, so definitely it will settle in and you will see a sticky bounce in the wicket. That's what the experts say. So interesting to see how these both teams approach the toss and what they decide to do. Having said that, again, those two games have been really contrasting, so to say. In the first game, Ireland were all over UAE, and then UAE came back strongly and did not give an inch, did not let Ireland come into the game. That was a dominating performance from both the sides.
Absolutely. In the second game, especially, UAE came as if they've just woken up from the sleep. And they had taken a lot of time to get going in the first game, but second game they were spot on. The intent was there. They were trying to hit big. They were trying to be busy on the wicket, which was not there in the first game. So the approach changed, the attitude changed, the mindset changed for UAE, and that is why I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be pretty exciting to watch them perform. Right now they are practicing all over the field, and they're going to take a look at the wicket as well, and they will be thinking that it's a good toss to win.
Yes, toss is crucial today's game, especially because of the conditions, and we're going to bring you all that action right here from the ICC Academy. As you can see, the players are warming up. It's a big game for them in the context of the tournament. It's the third T20 that is being played between UAE and Ireland. If you haven't followed us, UAE and Ireland have won one apiece. So that is how the three-match series is lined up for you. That's how it's set up. Both these teams will be looking for that elusive win. Of course, Ireland, a test-playing nation, will have some added pressure on them to perform today against a mix of young and experienced UAE side.
Also, Ireland is playing in the World Cup, so this becomes really important for them because this is more like the practice that they need. And they say nothing is better than match practice. You can practice day in, day out in the nets, but match practice is match practice, and that is going to give you confidence once you get those runs from the middle of the bat, once you get that ball swinging. That is going to give confidence to the players playing in the first round of the World Cup as well for the Irish side.
So let me ask you a question. Did you sleep well last night, Faizan? This excitement, this challenge, how did you feel? How did you sleep last night?
Well, not really. There are other reasons along with this as well, but let's not go into that. Yeah, a very exciting day, and I'm really, really excited to be a part of this commentary team, to be excited to be a part of the live matches that are happening. So some training going on our screens right now, and it is very, very important in this heat actually for the players as well. There we are. Black and white today.
Yes, that's right. Black and white. That's how the tournament has been. UAE and Ireland, absolutely black and white. UAE getting that first win in the previous game, and Ireland winning the first ODI. So, guys, if you're watching us, stay glued to your television sets or wherever you're watching, because we are also streaming live. So, wherever you're watching us, do not go anywhere, because this game is going to get really, really interesting. It's an enthralling game lined up for all of us.
Absolutely. It is going to be a cracker of a game. I have a feeling that this is going to go down the wire because these two teams are now matching each other up. They're sizing each other up. And it would be interesting to see. And again, I'm going to point that fact out because it is going to be a very, very important toss to win. Half the battle is won if the team wins the toss. And I'm 90% sure whoever wins the toss is going to decide to bowl first on this wicket.
Yes, that's right. We'll have to wait. The toss will happen in just a little while. And if you are going to watch us, these are the places or platforms or channels or medium where you can watch us live. All the action, ball by ball, is going to be on these amazing broadcasters. Sony 10 if you're in India and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. 10 Sports if you're in Pakistan. Quick Life if you're in the UAE. Free Sport in the UK. And if you are not in these countries, anywhere in the world, you can watch us on YouTube, Sony Live app and Switch TV.
Absolutely. It is Great coverage on the YouTube. I was actually watching those live feeds while you guys were doing commentary. It was going really good. All right, so we'll have the captains on the wicket right now for the toss, and Ahmed Raza tosses up the coin. Let's see what's the call. UAE winning the toss and electing to field first as expected. I was 100% sure that this is going to be this case because the ball is going to do a bit in the first 6-7 overs at least, and the sun is not completely out yet, so it might just swing exaggeratedly.
Oh, yes, absolutely. First of all, a vital toss to win for UAE. Ireland would be very, very disappointed they did not win the toss. I'm sure they would have wanted to field first as well in the conditions. But a good toss to win for UAE now. They've got one up in this match at least. A good head start in the game. And that is the pitch. Looks like the same wicket that was used. And we've seen that throughout the course of the tournament. Batting first has always been tricky. It gets a lot better in the second innings and in the second game as well. A lot of runs being scored in the afternoon games. So that is definitely going to be a big advantage for UAE coming in, winning the toss and deciding to field first.
Well, there's some moisture as we see on the pictures as well. Just a little bit. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Irish side against the UAE. Paul Sterling, Kevin O'Brien. Top heavy side, Gareth Delaney. Then there's the captain, Andrew Belburney. Benjamin White comes into the side. He wasn't playing in the last game, and I hope he's doing fine this time around because he was looking really good. George Dockrell, Josh Little, Craig Young, Neil Rock, Simi Singh, and Curtis Camphor, who was doing really, really good.
Yes, that's the playing 11 for Ireland. If you talk about UAE, well, a lot of great talent and some will miss out today. Mohammad Wasim is the opening batsman, also bowls a little bit. He's the debutant in this tournament. Chirag Suri, the experienced campaigner for UAE. Ritya Arvind, my favorite, and the one to look out for if you're watching a UAE game. And if you don't know the players, he's the man to look out for. Mohammad Usman, again, one of the experienced campaigners. Rohan Mustafa, who had missed his previous game, gets a game today. He's back in the squad, so they have strengthened that middle order. Kashif Daud, again, a great all-rounder with the ball and with the bat in his hand. Ahmed Raza, the spinner, the skipper, and also a big hitter of the cricket ball. Zaur Khan, the fast bowler. Akif Raja, the star of the previous game, debuted in the previous game. Karthik Mayappan also playing his second game today, had a great outing in that game against Ireland. And the last man, but not the least, is Basil Hamid.
Basil Hamid especially has been brilliant in this short little series for the UAE, and they are still sticking with Mohammad Wasim, which is good to see. The man has talent. He hasn't realized his talent as of now. Against Namibia, he scored 39 odd runs, but in the last game just could not open his account, Mohammad Wasim. And apart from that, yeah. So once again, the toss has just happened, and let us tell you once again that UAE winning the toss and electing to field first, which I think is the right decision to go on this wicket because it has been open the whole of last night, and the moisture must have seeped into the wicket just a little bit. Till the time the sun is not going to be out, it's not going to be easy to bat here.
Yes, that's the news, the latest news. UAE winning the toss and deciding to field first in this very important game in the context of the tournament, especially for UAE and Ireland. This is the third T20 international, and they need that win. Both these teams, third T20 international between UAE and Ireland, live from the ICC Academy ground in Dubai. So, as you can see, the Irish team getting ready. Also, the UAE team getting into their groove right now. What is the right total now to defend?
Well, you'll have to see. That is a difficult question today because the weather is different. There's moisture in the wicket, so it might just turn out to be a low-scoring game, and that is why UAE has the upper hand already by winning the toss. We saw in the last game as well yesterday, Namibia versus Scotland. Scotland trying to force the pace up in the first 6 overs, just couldn't get going. They started really well, 19 without loss, and then they were 21 without loss in the third over. Then they started losing those wickets, and at the end of the third over, they were 21 for 2. At the end of the fourth, they were 21 for 4. So this is the kind of wicket where you need to apply yourself first, and then make sure while the sun is out and the moisture is getting away from the wicket, that is when you start your scoring opportunities as well. And if you have wickets in hand, even if the wicket is not performing to your to the potential that you were expecting, you can actually score runs if you have the wickets.
That's right, you can score runs if you have wickets in your kitty, and that is what Ireland will be planning in the first innings. They would want to make sure they don't lose a lot of wickets, they don't surrender their wickets to the conditions, fight against the conditions, spend some out there and spend some time out there in the middle, and then once you are set in, that's when you can actually try and go against the run of play, attack the bowlers, and get some runs in the middle overs and death overs. So the first 6 overs are going to be very, very crucial for both the teams.
Absolutely. Also talking about the UAE team, there's one performer that I really am looking forward to today is Akif Raja. The reason for that is because this wicket would suit him. He's a pacey bowler. He likes to bowl that back of the length delivery. He likes the wicket to give him that carry and the pace and the zip coming in from the wicket. So I think I was really impressed in the last game the way he bowled. I'm looking forward to him.
Yes, Battle of the Titans, UAE versus Ireland, Ahmed Raza versus Andrew Balbirnie, head to head. And that is also going to be an exciting contest between bat and ball. Ahmed Raza, the experienced campaigner, versus the exceptionally talented Andrew Balbirnie. As you can see, the two umpires are walking out, and they have started the proceedings. They have rolled the ball, as they say, for this third T20I between UAE and Ireland.
Absolutely. Cracker of a game. That is what it's poised to be. I just hope that the Irish batters come out and bat with intent and positivity without thinking too much about the wicket. Now they have to bat on this wicket no matter how it behaves. So you need to look positive. You need to be positive in your mindset as well. And knowing Kevin O'Brien and Paul Sterling, one thing is for sure, they're going to play their shots once they are in, Shoaib.
Oh yes, absolutely. We know how dangerous these two players are and how dangerous they can be in the game of T20 cricket especially. So yes, that is going to be another exciting contest. Akif Raja, who got them in the last game, he got both of them, and Andrew Balbirnie as well. So he got those top 3 players, and he will be looking to get a few more today in this game. The 30-20I live from the ICC Academy. UAE versus Ireland. As you can see, the UAE players walking out with a lot of confidence because they have done really well in the previous game. That momentum will definitely help them coming into the third T20I. Ireland, on the other hand, will be a little hesitant, but not for too long. And you can expect a strong comeback from these two batters.
Absolutely. And the Irish side is playing their full strength team as well, which is good to see because this is an international game. It's going to reflect on your record as well. It's not just a preparation to the World Cup. It counts. And that is why they're going with their full strength side. Paul Sterling on our screens right now, hugely experienced, not just in internationals. He's played 88 international matches, all right, but he has played all around the world. He plays in the county cricket as well. And, a brilliant bat to have up top.
That's right. And, of course, he's going to be a part of the Abu Dhabi T10 as well, Paul Sterling, along with 5 other Irish players who have been selected and have been approved by Cricket Ireland to play for the Abu Dhabi T10. So you will see a lot of Irish flavour in the UAE in the coming months. Of course, they're going to be a part of the World Qualifiers, World T20. And if they qualify into the top 12, they will definitely get into the main draw. 100th match for Kevin O'Brien. Well, what an illustrious career this is for Kevin O'Brien, 37 years of age. And it is an absolute privilege and a pleasure to be calling the game for Kevin O'Brien, who's playing his 100th T20 international.
Absolutely. Kashif Dawood will start the proceedings for the UAE. 4 matches. He's picked up 1 wicket. He's looked like a very good bowler because look at that economy rate. 5.2 runs per over. So he keeps it tight and doesn't let the batters actually get on top of him and score big runs against him.
That's right. All the umpires are in readiness. Let's play, says the umpire. First ball coming up from Kashif Daud. And straight away some intent from Paul Sterling coming down the track and playing it towards the long on for a single. So off the mark, Ireland on the very first delivery.
And the good thing is the sun has just started to come out. Good thing especially for the Irish batters, because they would need some sun to actually soak up the moisture from the wicket, because this looks like a sticky wicket. We saw it yesterday as well. The ball was not coming onto the bat in the first 6 overs, and this is why I was saying it's very important to have that intent, to have that mindset really clear and positive. The news, once again, in case you missed out on that, UAE decided to field first. Right decision for them.
This time the in-swinging delivery from Kashif Daud, straying down the leg side. Ritya Arvind will collect that. Another extra added to the total. Kashif Daud has the ability to move the ball both ways. He bowls a very lethal outswinger and a very smart in-swinger as well.
And an economy rate of 5.2 in T20s. Now that's worth your weight in gold.
Spot on. Couldn't agree more on that. Kashif Daud. This time the away booming delivery. Appeal, big appeal, but the umpires say no, they are not interested. It looked as if they were very convinced of a nick, but the umpires think otherwise.
Good bowling this. He bowled the in-dipper on that last one. Couldn't control it going down the leg side. This time around, he was bowling it to a right-handed batsman, and it was leaving him just at the right moment. Look at that. Moving away and late swing as well, and that was why they were really interested, the UAE players.
There you see the bat hit the pad of Kevin O'Brien, and that's why they felt there is an edge. But this is good umpiring right up front. This time played towards the mid-on. 1 run for Kevin O'Brien in his 100th T20 international.
Kashif Daud has started well. He's given away an extra as a wide. But apart from that, he's looking good. He's swinging it both ways, as Shoaib was pointing out as well. And this is perfect conditions for a bowler who can bowl some seamers, who can move it around, can jag a little bit off the wicket as well. 3 without loss. 3 balls have been bowled till now. Paul Sterling is going to be on strike, 1 off 1. Kevin O'Brien on the other end. There you go. And this time it swings into the batter quite quickly as well. Perfect delivery, moving in from just outside the off stump. Nicely played as well from Sterlo, bringing down the bat straight and playing it towards mid-on. No runs taken.
Yes, a solid start from Ireland. They are taking their time out, and that is how it should be. Reading the conditions, reading the pitch, reading the bowler, and then they can actually go for some runs. This time the in-swinger straight to the point fielder. Rash throw. Looking for 2, Kevin O'Brien, rightly sent back by Paul Sterling. Wayward throw there. Will just be a single and 4 on the board.
Kevin O'Brien is going to be on strike now. He has had a start in the first game, couldn't do much in the last game. So he'd be itching to score. The kind of player that he is. In his 100th game, he would want to score big.
Outside off, played on the back foot. Kevin O'Brien gets that in the gap. It's going to go all the way, or no, it is not. The ball just stops on the way towards the boundary because of the humidity, because of the fog. It's a heavy outfield, but a very, very effective shot.
Absolutely. There was a lot of humidity overnight, and because of that, it just stopped. Nicely played right in the line of the ball. Didn't try to hit it too hard, just timing it towards the covers. So 1 over gone, 7 without loss. That is the score right now. Well, it would be important to see what is the kind of approach that these two have. They've got their runs in the first over without taking any risks whatsoever. So they've scored 7 runs without loss already. Haven't been any rash shots coming in. There was a loud appeal on the third ball of the over, but no danger for Kevin O'Brien there. He hit the bat on the pad, and that was why there was a lot of excitement coming in from UAE. Akif Raja, I was talking about him. I'm really excited to see him bowl. Picked up 3 wickets in the last game. That is his best bowling performance. And economy again, 5.5. Amazing.
That's right. That's just a testament to how good a bowler he is in the very first game, getting 3 wickets. And again, some movement, not able to middle the ball. Kevin O'Brien, Kashif Daud in mood for some football there.
Kashif got tangled in his movements there, trying to stop the ball with the boot. Not really sure whether he should get down and pick it up with his hands, and then just in a tangle. No problems there though. That is why I like Akif. He produces that zip. So a little late on the shot on that last one, Kevin O'Brien there, because of that zip coming in from the bowler.
That's right. He is an uncanny bowler. You would not expect him to be bowling that quick to you. So the initial perception is that, okay, we've got a medium pace bowler, but he's really quick. And that is what troubles the batsman. Just backing out at the last moment. Akif Raja wearing the number 5 jersey. So yes, he is a very, very deceptive bowler. You don't think he is quick, but he is actually quicker than you would expect.
And he was bowling truly like a Raja in the last game. The Raja of swing, if you will.
Oh, beautifully timed. Nobody moves. Only the fielder who tries to save the ball, but it's not going to be enough. That's an absolute cracker of a shot coming in from Paul Sterling. First boundary for Ireland.
What a shot. Just a punch. Off the blade, beautifully off the middle of the bat. Everything perfect about that shot. And he knew right from the word go that there's 4 written all over it. Paul Sterling, brilliant start for him. First boundary for Paul and Ireland as well.
Yes, absolutely classy shot there. Not a full flow of the bat, just pushing the ball, middling it in the gap, and 4 runs. Interesting to see now how Akif Raja responds to that shot. Short delivery played up in the air. Is there a fielder? No. It has cleared the infield. 1 bounce into the fence. Paul Sterling has got back-to-back boundaries, and Akif Raja is under some pressure.
Well, it was short, trying to make good of the mistake that he made on that last ball, which was a little in the length outside the off stump. So trying to bowl it short, surprising Paul Sterling. But Paul Sterling was waiting for it. Waited on to the back foot, just clearing his leg and going through the line of the ball. Beautiful shot. Absolutely amazing to watch. So Ireland on their way.
This time much better delivery. Played at the right time, just opening the face of the bat and guiding it towards third man. Zahoor is the man who'll stop that. But this is a good start in this over for Ireland. And that was a good delivery. I think the previous 2 deliveries were a little wayward. One a little bit too full, the other a little bit too short. And on both the occasions, Paul Sterling making full use of those deliveries.
18 on the board. 11 runs already of the over. There we go.
No!
Much better this time again. So good comeback in the over from Raja, bowling it in the right areas.
The best quality of a batter up front, up top the order, is the fact that he has time against the faster bowlers. We've talked about it so much, Shoaib. And when I look at these two, the way they stand at the back foot and just move at the last moment, that shows that they have time against the faster bowlers. And that is one quality that you just cannot teach to the batters.
So true there. What a great shot again. Just waiting for the ball, that time, that extra second, extra half second that Kevin O'Brien has. Just guides it on its way towards the fine leg. The fielder will stop that. Lucky Akif Raja. Had that been a few meters on the left or the right, it would have raced for the 3rd boundary of the over. Not to be. Over number 2 comes to an end. And Ireland are 19 for no loss.
Akif Raja, I think, was under pressure because runs were taken in his over. So he wanted to bowl it full and quick, just getting a little wayward in the line. And there's a very thin margin of error for any bowler in a T20. And I think he was very lucky that it went straight to the field. A good bit of fielding as well on fine leg.
Yes, absolutely. So after the first over, a good start for Ireland in the second. That first over belonged to UAE, but the second definitely belonging to Ireland, and Paul Sterling in particular. Meanwhile, it is going to be Kashif Daud who will continue the third over.
Kashif Daud bowled 4 on a trot in the last game, and he was really successful doing that. So it'd be interesting to see how he uses him today. The captain of the UAE side, Ahmed Raza. There's some fielding position changes that are being done, and Kashif Daud is not very happy with Kevin O'Brien there taking strike because Kevin wasn't ready because there was someone walking behind the side screen. All ready now.
That's close. Some bat into it that could only save him. Otherwise, it would be a very, very close decision. Yes, there is some bat involved. As soon as we have Ahmed Khwaja walking in the comb box, the excitement level out there in the middle has gone tenfold.
Things start to happen when Ahmed is on the ground.
Yes, you will hear him shortly giving you his take on the game. This time on the pads, flicked nicely towards Zaur Khan, who dives in and does really well to stop that other run. It had been hit straight to him, a fumble, but then making sure he recovers fast.
Nicely played. Good bit of fielding once again. So they've certainly saved quite a few runs in the field already. UAE, we saw one save in the last over as well. And now this. It's a good bit of fielding from the UAE. Intent in the field from them.
Yes, every run saved is every run scored. And especially for UAE, since they're batting second, the tighter they field, the better it will be for their batters in the second innings. Every run is important. As you can see on the screens, the two young players, Rityarvind and Karthik Mayappan.
For a moment, I thought you were talking about Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien.
Of course, they're young as well. Young at heart. Nicely bowled again, and a good run taken by these two batters. They're not the youngest in the squad, but definitely very, very aware of the match situations.
Absolutely. Only 100 matches young, Kevin O'Brien. But that's a lot of experience in international cricket. He's played cricket for a lot of years, and everyone remembers. And every time we comment upon a game where he's playing, we talk about the 2011 World Cup innings that he played.
Up in the air and clearing the infield. There is a fielder there, so some protection out there at the sweeper cover. Mohammad Wasim is the man. Will get a couple of runs, and the score will move on to 22.
Well, this is a good start considering everything, the conditions, the moisture in the wicket. This is a very good start for the Irish side, and they haven't given any half chances as well in the first 3 overs here. So good start for them.
Nicely bowled. Again, one of the few bowlers, Kashif Daud, who bowls a heavy ball. You can hear the sound of the bat. He doesn't look too quick, but that ball, when it hits the bat, it has a different sound. Not easy to score runs off such bowlers. 3 overs gone, 22 for no loss.
Well, good start for the Irish side here. Kevin O'Brien on 9, Paul Sterling on 12. Sterling is the man who's going to be on strike for the next over. We'll have to see whether they're going to continue with Akif or is there a change already. Because I think there's certainly going to be a change. Akif wasn't all that impressive that he was in the last game. So we're going to see a change already. Zahoor has bowled really well in the series already. Against Namibia as well, he was wonderful. He picked up 4 wickets in that game. And against the Irish in the very first game as well, he made things happen in the first over itself, where there was an edge that went through the slips. And that is one point that I've made in the last game as well. The ball is swinging, doing a bit. You have to have attacking fields for that. You have to have a slip in place. Even if a wide slip, if you don't want a conventional slip, if you are not very comfortable giving away easy runs, but you have to pick up wickets to win games.
I agree. And especially when you have a new bowler bowling in, you've got a new change. This is just the 4th over of the game. So you would want a slip for your bowler. Give him that encouragement that, okay, you need to go for wickets. And the ball goes into the slip region. That is something. Sometimes there is a commentator's curse, and sometimes there is the commentator's truth. And this one is absolutely right there.
And sometimes we just know that the captain has made a mistake. And this is the mistake that we've been talking about. In fact, Ahmed and I were doing commentary in the last game when Ireland was playing and UAE came into bowl. Zahoor came into bowl once again, and exactly the same thing happened in the very first over as well. So you need to have that slip in place, and still no changes in the field. Well, I'm surprised.
Well, there's only so much we can do, Faizan. We can only bring the details to our viewers. Meanwhile, another delivery. This time, the third man is much finer, but it's still gone into the slip cordon. So 2 edges from Zahoor Khan, and we don't see a slip yet.
How many edges would you need to actually get a slip going? Because Zahoor again is a deceptive bowler. He looks like a military medium pace kind of a bowler with the run up and with the stepping that he takes on the popping crease. But then again, when the ball comes in, it picks some carry and some bounce and some kick from the wicket as well. You need to have a slip in place. That is how you pick up wickets.
I said this has been a good first 2 deliveries. Interesting passage of play from Zahoor Khan. Slower delivery on the pads. Will go to Kashif Daud, who will get a direct hit from the fine leg. So that is some throwing. But not the quickest throw, and that's why Kevin O'Brien makes it home safely.
Paul Sterling is going to be on strike. He's looking good. He started really well. No half measures from him. When he wanted to strike the ball, he's going all guns blazing, giving it everything, timing the ball perfectly on the offside. He played a powerful shot down the ground as well. Already a couple of 4s, and then that edgy 4 that went on the first ball of this over. Zahoor once again to Paul Sterling.
No.
Nicely bowled on the pads, and equally tucked well by Paul Sterling, just nudging it towards mid-wicket. No fuss about it. 17 of 11 is Paul's personal score. Ireland are 28, so they have got the runs on the board. And the most important part of this inning so far is that they haven't lost a wicket. There is a surprising face in that UAE setup. It's Mr. Robin Singh, the head coach of UAE. Welcome back. He's been released from the IPL bubble. Was a part of the coaching staff for Mumbai Indians, and now he's back to national duties right away. So that is something really special. Meanwhile, another delivery from Zahoor Khan. He's been on the money in all the deliveries. Unlucky, yes, but very, very efficient.
Good over this for the Irish side. 6 runs already in the first 5 deliveries. But the way Zahoor has come back in the last 2 balls, he's bowled a very good ball first up that went to 4. So it's never going to show the numbers and never going to show how good an over this is. But they've got runs on board Ireland already in the first 4 overs, which is good to see. So a positive mindset, a positive intent was the requirement for this match for the Irish players, and this is how they have come out.
Again on the stumps. Good bowling. Good plan. Mixing it up, but keeping that line pretty tight. Always on the middle stump. 4 overs gone. Ireland at 29 without loss.
Another conducive over coming in for the Irish side. They are going at more than 7 runs an over. And we were expecting that things are going to slow down in the first 6 overs because there's going to be moisture in the wicket. The ball is going to do a bit. It hasn't really done much. But there were a couple of chances where the ball went through the slips. There was never a slip there from the captain Ahmed Raza. And this is not just the game that we are talking about it. In fact, in the last game as well, the game before that, we were talking about it also. Although one thing I like about Ahmed's captaincy is the fact that he doesn't go too defensive with the third man region. Normally players or captains like to actually keep a third man inside the circle in the first 6 overs to get that extra padding in the field.
Nice intent there from Paul Sterling. Played in the gap. Deft touch. A chase for the fielder Akif Raja, but he gives it in the end. So this is good batting from Paul Sterling. We know he's a hard-hitting batsman, but we also know now that he is a deft touch player.
And as I just said it, that the third man wasn't up in the circle. He was this time around, because this is where exactly the conventional third man would have been. And it would only be a single if not for this delivery. And if you're bowling back of the length, this is not a good ploy.
That's right. Absolutely right. You need to bowl according to your field.
Yep.
Again, stepping down. So not many demons in the wicket as we had expected. It looks like a normal wicket. No extra bounce, no tennis ball bounce for the bowlers. And the credit also has to be given to Kevin and Paul. They have had a cautious start, and then they've made merry of the UAE bowling attack.
This one is just outside the off stump. Another back of the line delivery. Quick run between the wickets. A direct hit would have gotten Kevin O'Brien. Oh, that was not a great run from him. I think he thought that he had played it with soft hands, but he had timed it more than he thought he had. Started to take a single there. And in all sorts of dangers. Lucky survival there for Kevin O'Brien in his 100th game.
Yes, that's right. You don't want to get run out in your 100th T20 international. You never want to get a run out in your name, but especially not in your 100th T20 international. Good ball there from Kashif Daud, and equally well played by Kevin O'Brien.
Absolutely. Good comeback from the bowler there.
Getting back to your point about the third man keeping inside the circle or keeping him on the boundary, and as you rightly mentioned yourself, if you're bowling full, you can still afford to keep the third man fielder inside the circle. But if you're bowling short or a good length delivery, the third man is always going to come into play. Meanwhile, another good looking shot from Paul Sterling, another good fielding effort again from Mohammad Wasim. So similar faces, similar deliveries, similar results.
Good shot once again from Paul Sterling. And nicely timed as well. Good bit of work into a tangle there while picking up the ball. And that is why that tumble that you saw from Wasim. Runs required from Wasim up top as well when UAE comes out to bat.
Played again in that point region. For a single, 5 overs gone. Ireland are 38 for no wicket. And to get you the next 10 overs, in fact, it is going to be Abdur Rahman and Ahmed Khwaja.
Thank you, Shoaib and Faizan. Good morning to everyone tuning into this game, the decider between Ireland and UAE. And my friend Ahmad Khwaja joins me in the comm box. Ahmad, interesting conditions today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that intro, Abdurrahman. Feels like early autumn has finally come in at the UAE. So it's the Dafa News early autumn bash going on right now. Feels like we're playing in New Zealand here. Absolutely picture perfect. It's overcast, a bit of cloud cover over the ground, and that ball is nipping around. So the UAE, having won the toss, elected to bat first. Of course, this is Ahmed Khwaja on your right. Abdurrahman looking very spiffy. Just coming back from his modeling shoot here to do some commentary on the side. But good bowling here from Zahoor. Right on that off-stump line. Bit of a misfield here. Rohan Mustafa into the side today for Alishan Sharafu. So boosting that middle order with the left-hand aggressive batter here.
Yes, and going with that experience as well in that middle order. I think the plan from the start for UAE was they were hoping they'd win the toss and then field first, chase any total down. But this is a very good start in the power play for Ireland. Haven't lost a wicket yet. 39 for no loss and 5.2. And Faizan, who's been very frustrated by the tactics, at least now he'll be happy. They have a third man in place for Zahoor.
Well, they took their sweet time, but they finally made the right call. Oh, short and down the leg side. Got a bit of a splice on it. So thankfully, no extras conceded. Not even a run there. Kevin O'Brien having a laugh with Sterlo. Very, very fortunate not to get any runs. Unfortunate, in fact, not to get any runs off it. And I think we are missing here that Ireland are very used to batting in these kind of conditions. A bit of cloud cover, not too warm. So it suits them as well. They'd be happy to be put into bat first.
Yeah, when you play in the UAE, we've had the pleasure of playing a lot of morning games, especially the ones that start at 9 o'clock on a weekend. These conditions are very tricky. The ball swings a lot, the new ball, especially in the air. But as you said, Ireland is very much used to these conditions.
Pulled away towards square leg, but there's a sweeper out there. Mohammad Wasim, he's had a quiet series so far. But perhaps in a run chase, when the scoreboard is, there's a target already in your mind, it'll definitely warm up in the early afternoon. So perhaps the percentages may favor him if they can restrict the Irish to a decent score about 150, 160. Anything more than that, then I think the UAE will have to work hard.
Well, 150, 160 would probably be below par for the start that they have already. 40 for no loss, the Irish. You can have a look. Even though it looks cool, it's not. It's very draining as the weather. Humid. Somebody posted online, it's a steamy weather and looks like that as well. And as you were saying, Paul Sterling, definitely the happier of the lot, batting first in these conditions, because he was very tired in the last two games when he had to bat in the heat.
Indeed, you lose a lot of fluids very quickly, running hard between the wickets as well in T20 eyes. Nicely punched off the back foot, but straight to the cover fielder, Basil Hamid. He's been the standout performer for the UAE in this Dafa News Summer T20 Bash.
Yes, if you wanted to pick out one player for the UAE that's performed in both the games, has been consistent, that's Basil Hamid. And they'll be hoping that this is the third game where he can play a key role for them, especially in the chase. He's been very good form, Basil. But yes, very strong today. Again, the batting lineup for UAE. They've gone in with, as we were mentioning, the experience of Rohan Mustafa in that middle lower order.
Of course, how can we forget, had a very unforgettable birthday a few days ago. Golden Duck. Back of a length once again bowled into the body. They'll take a quick single. So a steady over from Zahoor. 6 overs gone. At the end of the batting power play, Ireland are 41 for no loss.
Well, a 50-50 power play that. Ireland obviously happier that they haven't lost a wicket. But UAE must be thinking they've not let them get away by scoring very quickly as well. Just 7 runs and over in the power play. So the game hangs in the balance here, Ahmed. Have a look at the bowling card. Kashif Dawood, 3 overs, 20 runs. A bit expensive. Akif Raja, the star of the second match. But this is the cruelty of this game we love so much. One day you're on top, destroying the top 3 batsmen of a team. The other day you go away for 11 runs in 1 over. And then Zahoor Khan steady, 2 overs, 10 runs. So 41 in the power play, Ireland.
Indeed, I think both teams will be relatively okay with that. And now it's the captain of the UAE, Ahmed Raza, the silver fox, as I like to call him, marking his run up. So it'll be interesting to see what he gets off this surface right now.
Yeah, the ball is going to skid on the surface in the early morning.
Just setting his field on the leg side, wiping the ball. That career economy rate of 6.4 is very, very good.
Well, I think
actually that doesn't do justice to his talent, to be honest.
Yes, and he's had to play in very difficult conditions as well. With that age, Ahmed Khwaja, I think they've missed a mark. It should be 33 because it's his birthday today.
Well, a very, very happy birthday to the captain of the UAE, Ahmed Raza. Hope it's not like Rohan Mustafa's a couple of days ago. Very steady performer, very reliable, and a great leader. Sets the example himself.
Well, Ahmed, the interesting thing is this is very much a birthday week for the UAE. It was Karthik Miyappan's birthday yesterday, and I'm sure he must have celebrated his match-winning performance against the Irish. The 4 wickets that he took, he was the man of the match of that game. So hopefully Ahmed Raza can have a similar birthday as Karthik instead of Rohan.
Nicely punched off the back foot to that cover sweeper. Not seeing a lot of turn just yet. And of course the UAE did want to bat second today. So they need to restrict the Irish. They need to pick up some wickets. Dislodge these two. They are basically the most informed pairing, the most destructive pairing right at the top. We are of course live from the ICC Academy ground here in Dubai. Brilliant, brilliant conditions. And it's been a fantastic tournament. Work towards extra cover. So content to just push the singles for now.
Yes, just going to take it easy. The Irish for the spinners at least. They did crumble against the spin of UAE in their last game. Well, Ahmed, I have a question for you. You and I have both been following the Ireland team for quite some time. Kevin O'Brien opening the batting. I think for me, that's not the ideal position for him. I'd like to see him come in at maybe 4 when the bowlers are a bit tired and he can tonk them around. He doesn't look very comfortable opening the batting.
Nicely punched to the cover sweeper. I totally agree with you. I'd like to see Gareth Delaney opening for them and see King Kev slot in at 4 because he has that game against spin. He can smash any bowler on any field set out of the ground for 6. Perhaps that role will suit him. But there's also a school of thought that says let your best batter face the most deliveries. So Ireland going along that. And I think both points have merit. It just depends on what you require from each other.
Yes, he's just a little slow compared to Paul Sterling when he's opening the batting. 16 balls for his 14 runs. And you have a look, Paul on the other hand, 24 deliveries for his 30. Straight delivery again, very similar to the previous 2 singles, just plays it to deep cover. So Kevin, I think just a little bit circumspect when he comes in to open the batting. But when he comes in lower down the order, he just has a free hand and he's completely a different batsman and very destructive.
Nicely worked away towards square leg. So all singles in that over, steady as you can get. 7 overs gone. Ireland are 46 for no loss. And we didn't see a lot of spin there for Ahmed Raza. So they do have Mohammad Wasim as a 4th seamer option. They need to be switched on and perhaps get a couple of overs out of him as well, Abdurrahman.
Well, we'll have to see if there is actual spin when the real spinner, the Karthik Miyappan, the leg spinner comes in. We have the broadcast partners for this game today. We have a double header. Sony 10 in India, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Crick Life if you're in UAE and Free Sport if you're in the UK. and our streaming partners youtube.com/sportshigh, Sony Live, and the Switch TV app. We're live from the ICC Cricket Academy for the Dafa News UAE Summer T20 Bash.
Indeed, and it's a mini tournament within a tournament itself. The third and final T20I between UAE and Ireland. It's 1-1 each so far, and there's going to be a bowling change. The blonde bomber, the fantastic young leggy Karthik Mayappan, is coming into the attack, Abdurrahman. And you promised us you'd get your hairdo done just like him, but I see you've reneged on that promise.
Yes, his barber pushed me away. He said, you made fun of Karthik Mayappan's hair, I'm not touching yours. But all jokes aside, that was a very, very good performance from him in this debut game. 4 wickets for 25 runs. And again, I think they've missed his age because he did grow 1 year older yesterday.
Nicely bowled on a length once again. That's what I like about him. He's very, very steady. And maybe in the long term can even be a dangerous new ball bowler for the UAE.
Yes, I think on the domestic circuit, he does bowl with the new ball sometimes. Just getting used to bowling in the power play. Yet you can see when he starts off his spell, he bowls a little bit quicker and then he slows down. And that's the ideal approach if you're a leg spinner. Just get that shoulder loose, land it in the right slot, and then give it air when you're more confident.
Just content to do it in ones right now, Ireland, with Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien. And UAE will prefer to sit in for a few overs. They are, of course, our scorers. Francesca in the middle, a very pleasant person. And they're very, very hardworking. They're right out there in the heat. They'll be relieved that there's some cloud cover today, but let me tell you, it's very tough out there. In the air this time, launched over extra. It will fall safe. Basil Hamid going to sprint around from the cover sweeper. 50 up for the Irish, but that was not convincing at all.
Yes, first of all, a very good opening partnership, 50 runs, but as you mentioned, not convincing. And again, very interesting field placing from Ahmed Raza, because in the previous game, Karthik Mayappan had a deep cover. But this time he's got a deep square, a deep point, and cover is in the circle. So maybe they'll make that change quicker.
It does feel like something has got to give very, very soon. Oh, a bit of a leading edge there. Excellent bowling, Karthik Mayappan, and got some drift as well there.
Yeah, that much slightly slower than his previous deliveries. Again, you can have a look. Just a little tentative, Kevin O'Brien. But we all know he needs that one shot to get going.
18 of 20 is Kevin O'Brien. Steps it away and launches it over long off this time. That is going out of the park for a maximum.
Well, just on cue, Kevin O'Brien gets the ball in his slot. Monster hit over extra cover. Those are not easy shots against the leg spinner. He gives himself room. That's a big, big hit. 90 meter plus that hit.
Brilliant shot there. Just stepping away from the stumps, opening up the offside, and cannoned it way, way back. So Karthik perhaps pushing his luck, trying to throw it up there. And King Kev said, thank you very much. That one is going to be on a plane very soon, heading towards Dubai International.
Well, that's very good approach from the Irish. The two bowlers that did the maximum damage in the previous game, Akif and Karthik. They're targeting them this time, not letting them settle down. 10 runs already in this over, 11 against Akif. So clearly a plan against the two new bowlers.
There's another very handy young cricketer. There's Sanchez Sharma. Was given a couple of games in this tourney. He has a very, very bright future. Genuine swing bowler, hard-hitting lower order batter as well. He was outstanding in the Emirates D50 tournament. This time a hard punch down the ground once again. Absolutely screams away to long off. But it's the captain himself in the hot spot. Productive over for the Irish. 11 off it. 8 overs gone. 58 for no loss.
Yes, again, good approach there by the Irish openers. They've put on 58 runs. They had a 50-run partnership in the first game as well. So clearly enjoy batting with each other. But Karthik Mayappan, again, I feel having that extra cover fielder deep instead of in the circle might put just a little bit of a doubt in the batsman to go inside out, and that's how he got those 2 wickets in the previous game as well. So few changes from Ahmed Raza in the approach.
Indeed. Spin twins working in tandem right now. Ahmed Raza continuing. And if you see the strong scoring zones of Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien, we'll continue that point after this delivery. Just surveying the leg side is King Kev. Those massive biceps of his. Sun's out, guns out, as they say. The point I was trying to make is that Paul Sterling very good on the offside, behind square, loves to play those horizontal bat shots, and Kevin O'Brien loves to hike the ball towards cow corner, very good on the leg side, down the ground in that V. So they have different scoring areas and they complement each other really, really well.
Yes, and that's the pressure that they put on the bowlers together. You can't settle down in one line, one length, especially as a spinner. You want to land that ball in the same place again and again.
Ooh, big appeal this time. Slightly high and perhaps hitting him outside the line, but he certainly got foxed by that Ahmed Raza arm ball there, Paul Sterling.
Very, very good delivery that. Camped on the back foot, Paul Sterling. Akbar Ali under pressure, that was a big appeal. Looked extremely close, but you're right, Ahmed. I think just outside off stump. And a bit high, I think a bit high, yes.
This time cut away to the cover sweeper. Rotating strike once again. This is what they've done really, really well in this partnership. Not played a lot of dots. Either they've got a boundary away or at least taken singles whenever they could. So UAE not finding any rhythm against a particular batter right now. Irish dugout and think tank deep in thought. This time tried to hit that over the top, but lower half of the bat. Basil Hamid out there at long on.
Well, Ahmed needs to continue doing this. Put the pressure on them. Let them take those singles and try that risky shot. UAE must remember that they've caused a couple of collapses. So just have to hang in there.
Wait on.
Nicely bowled into him. Good fielding and extra by Karthik Mayappan. And indeed, the run rate is not too bad at all in terms of UAE's perspective. It's about hovering at 6.5, 7. That's very, very fair enough if you've not taken a wicket so far. Hard cut once again. So really scurrying through his overs is Ahmed Raza. Good stuff.
Yes, not giving them too much time. Getting through his overs very quickly and not giving away a lot of runs as well. He hasn't conceded a boundary in his 2 overs. So Ireland 63 for no loss in the end of 9 overs. Again, they are very top heavy, Ahmed. They'll know this, the UAE, as soon as they can get 1 wicket, get Andrew Balbirnie out as well. The other batsmen have not put in a big show. They've got George Dockrell, Neil Rock, Craig Young. Curtis Camphor actually has been batting really well. He's been coming up the order. And today they've played Benjamin White.
Yes, good to see him back in the team. Tall leggy, was very effective in the first T20I versus the UAE. Bowled at the death as well. And they were sorely lacking his presence in the playing 11 in the previous game that they lost to the UAE. So it's good to see them adding another spinner. But interestingly, it just tells you the conditions play such a big part. There's no turn so far. Of course, when the day heats up, the ball will perhaps get a bit of grip on this surface as it dries out. And Karthik Mayappan will continue.
Yes, and they've made that field change we were talking about. Basil now coming towards that extra cover field deep instead of in the circle. I think this is a much better field for Karthik.
Launched in the air towards Basil Hamid. He will try to clean up, but it will run away for 4. Brilliant effort.
Well, again, he didn't get a lot of timing, Kevin O'Brien, but he had to make that adjustment to get a boundary over that point fielder. And Basil, again, brilliant effort. Almost gets to the ball. He's amazing in the outfield, Basil Hamid.
Nicely created that shot. Slightly short from Karthik. They will keep Basil at deep extra, but he's moved to his left a few yards. This time cut away, but that point fielder does well. Chirag Suri there. Needed to stop that ball, otherwise it would have run away for 4.
Yes, and that is the risk. That is what they are trying to do, the UAE, to get him out, make him play in the air in that point region with 3 fielders there. Could easily land in anyone's hand.
15 runs off his 8 deliveries so far from Karthik Mayappan. He's being counter-attacked, so he needs to show some bottle here, some backbone. Be brave. 2 fearsome hitters of the ball at the crease. Oh, inner half of the bat, that googly. And they're calling for a single, and yes, they've come on through. Karthik, you should have done better there, young lad.
Well, I think he was trying to get Paul Sterling run out. Tried to flick that ball back onto the stumps. Let's have a look. Ooh, almost got a hand to it. But in the end, very good single as well.
Got all tangled up with big old Sterlo. And I think it was worth it, to be honest. If you could run out this man on screen, definitely worth conceding a run. He's that kind of a player. A big unit, and when he gets going, he hits some massive sixes, I can tell you. This time trying to drag it. He's not getting that shot away from Karthik Mayappan. He's looking a bit frustrated now, not being able to time the ball against spin.
Well, he's not faced a lot of Karthik Mayappan today. Kevin O'Brien has taken the bulk of the strike. But in that last ball, that tackle between the two, I think we all know there'll be only one winner in a tackle between Paul Sterling and Karthik Mayappan.
It's Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, part 4 for sure. Almost at the halfway stage. The game is in a holding pattern. 50-50 for sure. Down the leg side, going for... Perhaps got Fox there with Kevin O'Brien moving around in the crease. And good take by Vritya Arvind.
Yeah, very good take. Could have easily been 5. Unsighted Vritya Arvind. He has a big role to play behind the stumps and when he comes into bat as well.
There, of course, is the Mohammed bin Zayed Road right behind the stadium. In the air this time, that's straight as a die and all the way for 6.
Well, another big hit against Karthik Mayappan straight down the ground. Kevin O'Brien now much more settled at the crease against the spinners. That's a monster hit. Huge 6 straight down the ground.
Absolutely brilliant. He's so good versus spin. He's so good down the ground. Once again, a slot ball thrown up. And KOB went for SIX. Brilliant shot. 76 for no loss. Karthik Mayappan being expensive. 24 runs in his 2 overs. I really feel that Mohammad Wasim needs to come into the attack, cover his overs here. Ahmed Raza needs to be switched on. And this opening partnership is now looking very ominous for UAE. Short ball in the air this time towards that backward point fielder, but just falling short. That could have been an opportunity. 10 overs gone. Ireland 76 for no loss. And with this game in such a delightful stage, we're going to have a change in the comm box. It's Faizan Khan and Shoaib Ahmed.
Thank you, Abdul Rahman, and good afternoon to all our viewers. Interesting passage of play yet again from Ireland. A solid partnership between the two stalwarts of Irish cricket, Kevin O'Brien and Paul Sterling. Ahmed Raza continues quicker this time on the legs of Paul Sterling. Will be a dot ball. And with me in the comm box, dotting the commentary box, is Faizan.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. Yeah, another big shot coming in. This time it's in the air. A top edge. Will it carry? It is a good effort coming in from Basil. Brilliant effort coming in from him, just at the last moment stopping it from going over the boundary ropes for a 6. But another good shot, another good attempt at least to actually create the pressure that they have been applying on. Jump in the air just at the right time. He caught it and then let it go because he was falling over. Good effort coming in from Basil there.
Absolutely brilliant effort there from Basil Hamid. We know he's a gun fielder, and he's proved that on that occasion. Meanwhile, another big shot coming from Paul Sterling. It was way outside off, and then he wanted to go for it, giving room to himself. Not able to time it too well, but still will get a single. 79 on the board. This is a good start for Ireland. Good first 10 overs for them.
Absolutely. Going at 7.5 runs and over. That's good stuff. More importantly, they haven't lost a wicket. So quick run, quick first run, coming back for the second. Good running between the wickets. The throw is towards Paul Sterling's end, but he's going to reach there easily eventually. So 2 more added to the total. UAE in desperate need of a wicket here, Shoaib.
Yes, desperately need a wicket. In fact, they needed it right from the first over. Haven't been able to strike against the Irish opening pair of Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien playing his 100th T20 international. He's making a mark. Already on 42 of just 33 deliveries.
Yeah, today he looks to be on roll. Although Paul Sterling started really well, he slowed down just a little bit. Ahmed Raza pulling out just at the last minute from his run-up. And he will come back and bowl that last delivery of the over once again. 82 without loss, 10.5 gone. Raza has been good. 2.5 overs, 17 runs. There you go. Last ball, good ball. Very good ball. Dancing down the wicket, trying to hit it big. Eventually had to play it defensively. So a dot ball to end the over. Raza has been economical.
Yes, the skipper, Ahmed Raza, has been very, very economical. Hasn't given away a lot of runs. Created an opportunity as well. A half chance for sure for Basil Hamid in the previous over. Has been impactful in this game against Ireland. 11 overs gone, 82 without loss is the score for Ireland.
And still a lot of batting to come for them. There's Delaney, there's the captain Bill Burney, who possibly would come in next to bat at number 3. Ben White is added to the team as well. A very good young leggy for the Irish side. He bowled really well in the first match. Didn't pick up a wicket though, but he was very, very economical. Also, Curtis Camphor can hit a few as well. Simranjit Singh can do the damage with the bat also. So there's a lot of batting to come, a lot of power hitting to come lower down the order for Ireland. And that is why it is very, very important for the UAE side to do something here. Make some changes, make them do something different.
Fair point. And that is why we see Rohan Mustafa being brought into the attack. And it's a testament that it's not easy to bat and score runs right from ball number 1. And that is why we've seen Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien taking some time out in the middle, which was the ideal way to approach this innings. So even if they get a few wickets here, UAE, at least a breakthrough here, that will definitely slow down the run of play. Because for a new batsman to come in and strike and start striking right from ball number 1 is not going to be easy.
First ball, full, straight from Rohan Mustafa. Quick as well. Drilled down the ground, straight to long off. A single there for the taking. They don't need to do anything rash. Runs will come in if they are there, because they are 2 of the biggest hitters in the game of cricket. Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien.
Big heave towards the fine leg, misfield there, and the ball will not go towards the boundary. Some great football skills there from the fielder. I think it was Usman who's done a fabulous job with his foot.
Well, yeah, not the greatest of tactics. That might just injure you, but that works here for Usman this time around. Nicely played into the gap, timing, perfection, everything right about that. And for a moment, I thought Usman is going to give up the chase, but good boot work.
Oh, straight down the ground. What a hand. The hand of Rohan Mustafa gets a wicket here. That is a big wicket. Paul Sterling has to walk back. He had hit that really well. But out of nowhere, you see a hand coming in. And that hand was of the hand of Rohan Mustafa. That hand deserves a wicket.
Absolutely. Drilled, nailed down the ground, but straight at the bowler. Rohan Mustafa making no mistake there. And a big wicket. This is what the doctor ordered for the UAE side. They have picked up a wicket. They're into the game now.
Yes, first wicket down for Ireland. It is Paul Sterling who will have to walk back. He scored 40 of 35. Ireland are 85 for 1 after 11.3 overs.
First over for Rohan Mustafa. So a very good change coming in from the captain Ahmed Raza. This was really good stuff. Really good stuff coming in from the bowler. It was drilled, nailed down the ground. He jumped in the air, put a hand to it, and then took it on the second attempt. Absolutely amazing work. We have seen some amazing fielding efforts already for the UAE side in the field. We saw Basil in the last over saving a certain 6. And this time around, a wicket that was required. And they finally got it. 85 for the loss of 1, 11.3. Still a good start. Garrett Delaney comes in, 24 matches. 200s to his name, no 50s surprisingly, and the strike rate amazing, 142.7.
Oh yes, absolutely. Surprising here, Andrew Balbirnie is not the number 3 for Ireland today. It's Garrett Delaney, who has a great strike rate, but the man who struck for UAE is the man on your screens right now. Rohan Mustafa gets a wicket that was needed for UAE. There you see again. Beautifully done. That is good game awareness, because you are in the follow through as a bowler. It's always difficult.
Oh, yes, Ron.
A job done well by Rohan Mustafa, who continues to Garrett Delaney. Starts off well. A dot ball. Quicker in the air, and Rohan Mustafa gets those overs done quickly. Last ball of the over, another fuller delivery played straight back to Rohan Mustafa, who is smiling. He felt there was an opportunity for a run out. A dot ball to end the over. 12 overs gone. Ireland are 85 for 1.
Yeah, a little surprising that Balbirnie didn't come out to bat here, and Gareth Delaney was sent up the order. We see the batting card. Paul Sterling out for 40 of 35. Kevin O'Brien still looking good, still looking handsome, 43 of 34. And Gareth Delaney is the new batter who has come out to bat. Andrew Balbirnie, Benjamin White, George Dockrell, Josh Little, Craig Young, Neil Rock, Simranjit Singh, and then Curtis Camphor. All of them can hit those big shots. They bat really deep, the Irish batting unit. They have hitters lower down the order that can change the course of a game, and that is why I say it's a very good start for the Irishmen. 85 for the loss of 1, that is the score right now after 12 overs have been bowled. Thanks to a good over coming in from Rohan Mustafa, UAE has come back into this game now, Shoaib.
Yes, just before that over, we spoke about one wicket and how things will slow down for Ireland, because it's not going to be easy. And right away, after the wicket, you saw Gareth Delaney struggling just a little bit. Of course, it's because he's just come out to bat, but the ball was not middling the meat of the bat. It was not hitting the meat of the bat. So some positives here for UAE cricket. Meanwhile, Kevin O'Brien is looking very, very settled out there in the middle. He is inching towards his T20 50 in the 100th T20 international for the Irish cricketer.
Yeah, that's going to be some achievement if he gets there. Just 6 runs shy of that. 35 balls for 44 runs. Gareth Delaney on strike. Nicely bowled by Ahmed Raza. But a quick single, is that? I think sent back by Kevin O'Brien, or we'll have to see if the scorecard moves. Yeah, there was a single there, so Gareth Delaney off strike and off the mark as well. Kevin O'Brien is going to be on strike. 12.2 gone. 87 for the loss of 1. Raza has been economical. He's bowled the last over well. The last couple of overs have been good actually for the UAE side. We'll get to that after this delivery. Nice ball, loopy, outside the off stump, trying to go for the heroics here. Kevin O'Brien completely missing it. Good, brave bowling from the captain of UAE.
That's right. He had a change of pace. You don't normally see Ahmed Raza bowling that slow, and that is why Kevin O'Brien was beaten on that occasion. Meanwhile, another good shot in the gap, won't go all the way. There is a sweeper cover fielder who will stop that. Mohammad Wasim throws the ball back to Ritya Arvind, so 2 more added to the total. And with that 2 runs, Kevin O'Brien is on 46 of 37 deliveries. Raza has finally found his groove and rhythm that was missing in the first 2 games. Again, slower in the air, much better bowling from Ahmed Raza. You can sense that there is a chance coming in, an opportunity. Something's going to give in here, Faizan.
Absolutely. Raza has bowled really well. This is going to be the last ball of his spell. In a score where they're going at almost 7 runs and over. He's given away just 22 in his 3.5.
Yeah.
Last ball, a single taken. Will they go for a 2 here? Raza chasing. They go for a 2. Good running between the wickets. Raza is not happy because he was not able to gather the ball properly after that slide coming in from him. So 4 overs, 24 runs. Raza concludes his spell. And he's bowled well. I think going at 6 runs and over where all the other bowlers are going more than 7 and 8. I think it's good bowling.
Yes, this has been a good spell, especially in the middle overs. From that one end, he's held the UAE innings. And that is what has created pressure. There you see, he's not happy. He couldn't collect the ball on the slide. And you don't want to be around Ahmed Raza when he's angry. He's rarely very upset. But when he is, you should find the nearest fire exit.
It's very difficult to find one in the ground though right now. 92 for the loss of 1, 13 overs gone. UAE versus Ireland, the decider right now. 1-1 in the last 2 games that they played against each other. UAE lost big time in the first game, came back really strongly in the second. So Mustafa is going to continue and he's going to bowl a wide from a round arm action that he tried on that last one, just could not control it. So a single added to the total, giving away just 3 runs in the last over and picking up a wicket. Priceless.
A slower delivery again, that is what it is all about, mixing those deliveries. The first one was quicker and darting into the leg stump. And then immediately after that, you bowl a nice, slower, regular off spinner, foxing the batsman, Kevin O'Brien, who's on 48. He got that single, no doubt about that. And that has brought Gareth Delaney on strike. This time play straight down to Rohan Mustafa. Yet again wanted to throw that on the stumps, deciding not to do that. So Gareth here will have some added pressure because he's been sent up the order. He wouldn't want to spend a lot of time out there trying to middle the ball or just settle in, because you have a lot of batting firepower left in that Irish batting lineup.
Absolutely. I think he sent up the order to up the ante as well. And it's because of his career strike rate that he's been sent at number 3. Kevin O'Brien on strike. Nicely bowled by Rohan Mustafa. It was flat. It was a Yorkland delivery. Although a single stolen there on that ball. Good running between the wickets by the big man Kevin O'Brien. And with him, Gareth Delaney. They have run well between the wickets. Boundaries have dried up though. And that's the sort of comeback UAE wanted. Next ball, beautifully bowled. And this is a perfect delivery to a new batter, Gareth Delaney. It's a Yorker full, straight, pacey as well. And getting the desired result. Wonderful, wonderful comeback into the side for Rohan Mustafa. He was not there in the last game. Coming back to bowl. 1 wicket in the first over, 1 in the second. Brilliant bowling.
This is absolutely class coming in from Rohan Mustafa. That's why he is such a dangerous cricketer. He can give you runs with the bat. He can get you wickets with the ball. Garrett Delaney, a short stint out there in the middle for him. Bowled by Rohan Mustafa. Has to walk back. Wicket number 2 for Ireland. And you could see that wicket was so important for Rohan Mustafa. As soon as he took that wicket, he ran straight away to his skipper, Ahmed Raza. So that shows that it means a lot to him. Just not the wicket, but he wants to contribute towards the team as well.
And he, and only him, is responsible for the 2 wickets that have gone down. First cotton ball, the second one bowled. Andrew Balbirnie comes into 50th match to bat. So 100th for Kevin O'Brien and 50th for Andrew Balbirnie. Strike rate of 127, 450s to his name. A good bat to have up the order in the middle order for the Irish side.
Yes, again, he's been around for quite some time. Also, the skipper of Ireland, Andrew Balbirnie. 50th game. So, a game of landmarks today for Ireland, especially. 100th T20 international for Kevin O'Brien and number 50 for Andrew Balbirnie. Starts off well on the back foot, on the front foot. Played straight back to Rohan Mustafa. So 14 overs gone and Ireland are 96 for 2.
Another good over coming in from Rohan Mustafa. He gave away 3 runs in the first over, picked up a wicket, and he's given away just 4 in this last over as well. So brilliant stuff. Look at the bowling scorecard. Kashif Dawood, 3 overs, 20 runs, bowled well. Akif Raja, only 1 over for him. He was very expensive in that second over that he bowled off the innings. Zahoor Khan, very impressive today as well. 2 overs, 10 runs. Ahmed Raza bowled well, completed his spell. 4 overs, 24. Karthik Mayappan, their X factor, hasn't contributed today. He's a cross factor actually today for the bowling unit of the UAE. Rohan Mustafa, wonderful. Absolutely amazing spell of bowling from him. Very full, very straight. You miss, I hit kind of bowling, Shoaib.
Yes, in that bowling card, you will definitely now see Rohan Mustafa completing his allotted 4 overs. And it could very well be Akif Raja getting the other over. Meanwhile, change of plans for UAE as soon as the 2 wickets are down for Ireland. It's the spinner, Karthik Mayappan, the man with the fancy hairstyle.
I knew you were going to bring it up. I knew this for sure.
Well, it's an eye catcher for sure. You can't miss that out. A fashion statement from Karthik Mayappan.
And a good start for the over for the Irish batters. A good shot coming in through the offside. And a couple of runs there for Kevin O'Brien. And with that, he completes his 50 as well. Kevin O'Brien, 100th game. 50 for him on the board with that couple of runs. 51 of 41 deliveries. 1 4, 2 6s. Good strike rate as well, 124.39. Brilliant stuff.
That's right. Now they have the 2 most experienced players in the side. Kevin O'Brien and Andrew Balbirnie. Paul Sterling, the other experienced campaigner, is back in the hut. For Karthik, I feel today he's missing the right speed that he needs to bowl at. He's not sure whether he wants to bowl it slow or whether he wants to bowl it quick. And that could be a challenge for any leg spinner. He has to mix it up with the line and length. Flighted and nicely played by Balbirnie towards the long off fielder. It's wide of Ahmed Raza and that will give them a chance for 2 runs. Will get them easily.
Good running between the wickets once again from the big man, Kevin O'Brien. And that brings the 100 up for the Irish side. 101 for the loss of 2 into the 15th over. Kevin O'Brien on 52 of 42. Balbirnie, the captain of the Irish side, is going to be on strike. 5 runs of the first 3 balls of this over. There we go. Karthik Mayappan once again.
Oh, yes, guys. Good bit, good
Trying to slog sweep it. And was just a little too early in the shot there.
Yes, too early and the ball was too wide for a sweep shot.
Oh,
It was
yes.
way outside the off stump. And he wanted to sweep that. a little early into the shot.
Go, Curry.
This time much quicker on the pads. Swept to fine leg. Easy run. So Karthik today a little bit off color. 52 for Kevin O'Brien. We've missed his landmark, but this is a very special innings coming in from the legend of Irish cricket, Kevin O'Brien. On the back foot, again not middling it, so the ball just taking a little bit more. Straight down the ground for a single. End of the over, number 15. Ireland 103 for 2 to take you through for the remainder of this innings. It's going to be Ahmed Khwaja alongside Abdul Rahman Tariq.
Thank you, Shoaib and Faizan. 103 for 2 Ireland. 5 overs to go. Rohan Mustafa making a comeback into the team and making instant impact. Ahmed Khwaja, what do you predict then? 5 overs to go with 8 wickets in hand, Ireland. Where do you think they would want to finish?
Well, full credit to Rohan Mustafa and Ahmed Raza. The UAE team have kept a clamp on the scoring, taken some crucial wickets as well. Andrew Balbirnie, the captain, out there with King Kev. Rohan Mustafa 2 for 8. Spectacular comeback into the playing 11. He had a point to prove, and he's done so far with the ball in hand. Nicely punched down the ground for a single. We were suggesting in our previous stint that perhaps Mohammad Wasim should be used as the 6th option. But Ahmed Raza favoured the experience and guile of Rohan Mustafa, and it's paid off big time.
Yes, very good thinking on his feet. Ahmed Raza. Karthik Miyapan had gone for a few runs and he brought in the experienced Rohan. And that's exactly what he has been doing. Straight at the stumps. He bowls that Yorker length quick. Doesn't turn the ball at all. And Kevin O'Brien, huge wicket for the UAE.
No luck for the Irish with the Nelson on board. Quick and straight, backed away, and he's castled him. The huge wicket of King Kev. Rohan Mustafa is having a day today. Brilliant stuff.
I'll tell you what, Ahmed, when he was walking into that ground, Rohan Mustafa, I had a look at him. He looked very focused. He's a very bubbly character, but this time when he was walking into the ground, he was very serious. And you can see why. He has a point to prove. He's still got a lot of cricket in him. And he's taken all 3 wickets of Ireland for the UAE. Big game, big player.
Absolutely, and there are some danger signs here for the Irish. If their top order does not get the majority of the runs, that middle order is coming unstuck. Of course, the captain, Andrew Balbirnie, still out there. He's had a quiet series. And now Curtis Camphor, been very impressive. Bowls lively medium pace. And look at that strike rate of 147. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but the 2 times he's come into bat. Once the game was almost done and dusted. The other time didn't make a huge impact. Ireland is batting first. They need to put a strong total to give their bowlers any chance against this very, very strong UAE batting lineup. And again, very similar dismissal to the previous one. Just give themselves room against Rohan Mustafa and then get beaten by their pace and swing.
3 for 9 in his 2.5 overs. Superb game-changing spell here from Rohan Mustafa. And of course that famous jig he gives us every time he takes a wicket. His coach Robin Singh will be looking on quite amused. But if he gets those wickets, he doesn't care what he does. Oh, reverse paddle this time by Curtis Camphor towards short third man. And that is going to go all the way for 4. A brilliant start.
Well, good cricket there by Curtis. Quicker delivery. We all know Rohan Mustafa bowls with quite a bit of zip. Doesn't try to turn the ball at all. So outside off stump. Risky shot. Nonetheless gets 4 runs. So good start for Curtis.
And I must echo our co-commentator Faizan Khan's frustration. Where was the slip? That man's got 3 wickets to his name. Give him a first slip for the love of God. My goodness. It was going to go straight into his hands. And we know that the Namibian and Irish batters are very good with those unorthodox shots. This time dragged towards mid-wicket, beats the fielder. But the sweeper was sharp on his feet. Mohammad Wasim, that is sensational fielding.
Well, good cricket all around. Curtis plays the ball in the air. Evades the short mid-wicket fielder, and then Wasim, brilliant on the boundary.
Just drop kick down the ground. So once again an eventful over. 3 wickets down. Andrew Balbirnie still new to the crease as well. But this man has been the man of the moment so far. Rohan Mustafa.
Last 4 overs to come. Last time UAE scored 45 runs in the last 3 overs. And Ireland must be thinking they need to get at least 40 runs in these last 4 overs to cross that 150 mark. Batting is not that easy. There is still a little bit of stickiness in the wicket. The sun has been trying to peek out from the clouds and then goes back in. You wouldn't mind that if you're in the ground at the moment. It is quite humid, but not the same heat as was in the last few games. Last 4 overs, Ireland 111 for 3 on Nelson. Again, Ahmed Raza, the captain, quick thinking on his feet. Now he's brought in his ace fast bowler Zahoor Khan, death specialist, so he's going to bowl 2 overs on a trot.
Absolutely, and Akif Raja also has plenty of overs left. He'll be utilized from the other end perhaps. Length delivery could have been caught behind. A bit of an airy-fairy shot there from the captain Andrew Balbirnie. And talk about the impact of the captain struggling here, Abdurrahman. How does it affect the side?
Well, Ahmed, both teams have had that sort of problem. As we were mentioning, Ahmed Raza has been struggling with the ball, but today he put in a good effort, and you can see that energy in the players as well. I think Andrew Balbirnie has to do the same thing. Score a couple of runs, quick runs, to get Ireland confident when they come in to defend this total.
Got away with that one, Zahoor. The score predictor suggesting 138. That is definitely a below par score, considering the opening stand they had. Length delivery once again beats him for sheer pace. And immediately Zahoor telling his third man, get a bit squarer. This guy is going for those cross-bat cut shots.
Well, again, intelligent bowling from an intelligent cricketer, Zahoor Khan. Lot of franchise experience as well. So he knows exactly what he wants to do. Is bowling short wide outside off stump, letting Andrew Balbirnie go for that cut shot. 2 dot balls. Crucial, those dot balls. Gold dust at this stage.
And now this follow-up delivery needs to be absolutely on the target. If I'm Zahoor, I'm aiming for that block hold. I'm aiming for middle stump. And as you can see, the man on the right looking very pleased with himself. Punched away towards extra cover, beats both fielders. Got a hand to it, but the skipper will clean up. If they could have saved that, certainly would have inflicted more pressure, but a release shot for Andy Balbirnie.
And again, not the middle of the bat. Chirag Suri there at short extra cover. Just gets a hand to it. Was hit hard, not from the middle of the bat. You can see Ahmed Raza, he's switched on today. Very much in the game. He's been very animated in the field as well. So that's good to see. That energy is going to go into the players as well.
113 for 3. The runs have been coming at a drip for the past few overs. Excellent pressure bowling from the UAE. Have nicked a few wickets as well. This time tries to paddle it in that trademark slower bouncer. Superb bowling, Zahoor Khan.
Well, Andrew Balbirnie is going to be very disappointed. He's played out 3 dot balls in this over. That's not what the Irish need at the moment. They want to cross at 150 mark, and for that he has to get at least 1 boundary every over. But again, intelligent bowling from Zahoor Khan. That slower bouncer Ahmed Khwaja is a big fan of, and he executes it to perfection every time.
That is the key word, execution. You need to get those things right at the right time. That is the difference between a top bowler and an elite bowler. Once again, that beautiful slower bouncer, nicely read this time by Balbirnie, but bowling to his field. Rohan Mustafa, he has a rocket arm out there at square leg.
Yes, even if you can spot it, there's not a lot of places you can deposit that ball. Takes an age to get to the batsman, and by that time you've played 5 or 6 shots in your head. By the time you execute one, it's just getting a single. So again, very good over. 3 runs off it so far. Zahoor knows he has to finish strong.
Yes, he has. Indeed, that is exactly what I was going to say. Needs to finish with the 6th delivery. Can't switch off just yet because you bowled 3 good deliveries. And Curtis Camphor already has a boundary to his name. He looks a sprightly, combative character. I like the making of him. Bullish delivery. Bit of an edge there, but third man will safely clean up. Brilliant over there from Zahoor. 17 overs gone, 115 for 3.
Very, very good over at this stage of the game. The last 4 overs of the match. Just going for 4 runs, Zahoor Khan. And Curtis Camphor, you were mentioning, he's been selected for the Abu Dhabi T10 as well. So clearly, a bright future for him as an all-rounder. That's the bowling card. Kashif Dawood, 3 overs, 20 runs. A bit expensive they were in the power play, both Kashif and Akif Raja. Zahoor Khan recovering really well in that last over, 3 overs, 14 runs. Ahmed Raza steady, 4 overs, 21. No wicket for him. But all the damage done by Rohan Mustafa. 15 runs given in his 3 overs and 3 wickets.
Well, I want you to put your captaincy hat on here, Abdurrahman. Who are you taking 2 overs from over here, from these bowlers?
Well, I think as you can see, Kashif Dawood is coming into bowl now. So he's going to bowl 1. We'll probably have Zahoor Khan finish his spell. And then the 20th over, I have a feeling will go to Rohan Mustafa. He's bowled the 20th over in a lot of games. And they'll try to go for those big shots against him. And it's not that easy.
Interesting. I would have thought that Akif Raja would perhaps bowl one of those, but he's gone for runs early on and not brought back by Ahmed Raza, thinking on his feet as always. Oh, got that slower bouncer completely wrong there. Of course, a bit of a loosener to say the least.
Well, again, Kashif Dawood bowling his last over. If Akif was to bowl, I would have probably given him this, just to see if he's got his rhythm right. If he would have bowled well, given him the 20th over. But it seems they're going to go with the experience.
This time slapped over deep mid wicket. Fielder getting underneath it and takes it smartly. Well done, Mohammad Wasim. Kashif Dawood picks up the big wicket of Curtis Camphor.
And again, a very good bowling change by Ahmed Raza. Could have easily continued with Rohan Mustafa, but instead goes for the fast bowler. And Kashif Dawood repays his faith. Brilliant delivery in the stumps, not middled at all. And when they're going to Mohammad Wasim, you might as well start walking towards the pavilion.
Absolutely safe as houses. He aimed for the biggest part of the ground. And Kashif Dawood made his T20I debut in this series. And he's had a very good one. Taken wickets in every game, made some runs as well. A vital addition to the side. Curtis Camphor, 6 of 4. Just that sole boundary to his name. And once again, that Irish middle order. Not quite standing up in UAE conditions.
This is what we were talking about in our previous stint, Ahmed. Even though they had a very strong power play in the top 10 overs, going for 80 runs, they were 82 for no loss in the 11 overs, so completely lost the plot, the Irish batting. That's, again, good planning from the UAE as well to put the brakes on.
So George Dockrell coming in to bat. at number 6 for the Irish. Used to be a very handy left arm orthodox bowler back in the day. Mohammad Wasim just drying his hands. Of course, he is in those hot spots where the ball travels and flies. This time nicely bowled on a length, nicely punched as well, but brilliant fielding, Chirag Suri.
Yeah, he's manning that cover field. Very good Chirag Suri inside the circle. Again, dot ball. First a wicket taken, then another dot ball. So just one run coming off the first two deliveries.
Let me just talk about the field here. A very, very interesting field setup. There's a deep extra cover as well, Rohan Mustafa. And it's gone towards him. Basil Hamid, my goodness, this guy, what a throw, chance for a run out. Very, very close. Excellent stuff, Basil Hamid.
Well, a good cricket all around. Basil Hamid covering a lot of ground, getting that ball in his hand and then releasing it very quickly. We'll have to see how quick that was. Let's have a look. A good decision there by the umpire. I'm not a big fan of the positioning though.
This time hard cut away to that man. He grabs your attention even when he's not bowling or batting. He's that kind of a cricketer. And even getting close on that run out from that far away was a superhuman effort from Basil Hamid. Brilliant, brilliant fielder. And we already saw that attempted relay catch. My goodness, that was something truly spectacular.
Yes, we've seen a lot of the teams throw relay throws from here. It's very far out, this cover field. So for him to get that one bounce to the bowler, very good.
Yorker delivery this time, hit away towards backward point. Sultan Ahmed out there, the substitute fielder. Good to see everyone getting involved, everyone working hard. This series means a lot. The UAE national team has come together after 8 or 9 months. It's just the early days of the season here in the Emirates, and everyone is working hard. Everyone is out here to prove a point, and under the safe guidance of Robin Singh, this team is definitely competing hard and can definitely do very big things in the near future.
Yes, Robin Singh coming back from his IPL stint now in the dugout, watching the game with eagle eyes.
Bullish delivery, whipped away towards the square leg, bit of an inside edge. Excellent over there from Kashif Dawood. 121 for 4, 2 overs remaining. Abdurrahman Tariq, who's the next bowler? Call it quickly, you have 5 seconds.
Zahoor Khan.
Indeed, Zahoor is extremely good at it, death. Very, very reliable. That trademark slower bouncer, as we've seen throughout this series, has foxed all batters in all the teams. And this is the beautiful ICC Academy ground. My goodness, what a sight for sore eyes. If you love cricket, if you love T20I cricket, this is the spot to be.
Yes, brilliant facility. There's some very good nets in the back as well. They have 8 different wickets to mimic the different conditions. They have a couple of Australian wickets, couple of Indian wickets. The indoor nets as well have a mat where you can think you're bowling in a Mumbai or Calcutta. They've marked it Indian wicket. 121 for 4 Ireland. 2 overs to go, Ahmed.
Zahoor steaming into the captain of Ireland. Bullish delivery, excellent block hold ball, followed the batter. Mid-off was in the circle as well, so he needed to get it absolutely right. And the bowling plans and execution from the UAE has been absolutely top-notch today. Only 15 runs conceded. That is brilliant from Zahoor. Took a 4-for in the very first game against Namibia. He's been a key bowler for the UAE and been a steady fixture in franchise cricket, taking place all over the UAE, and you can see why. He is a high quality performer.
Yes, he's been very consistent in this series against very strong batting lineup of Ireland. 15 runs given in 3.1, but he still has a job to do. These last 5 deliveries make a huge impact on the game.
Bowled him! Yorks him! George Dockrell stepping out. Zahoor Khan, you miss. eye hit and that big celebration. Fantastic bowling.
There's not a lot you can do as a batsman when that ball is honing in on that off-stump base. Have a look at that. Absolutely brilliant, spot on. He's landed that ball on a coin, Zahoor Khan, and that celebration means a lot to them. This performance, the UAE team, as you mentioned, just coming to play together after a huge gap. And we've seen that after the first two games, learning from their mistakes and finishing off really well. 122 for 5 now, Ireland in a lot of trouble.
10 deliveries remaining in the innings. It's the wicketkeeper batter Neil Rock who has come out to bat. Needs to support his captain. Early days for him just yet. Very young lad, just out of the under-19 setup in Ireland, age 21. So he needs to get some quick runs here. Need to take that score up to perhaps 140, 145. Only 10 deliveries remaining in the innings. It's been a brilliant bowling effort all round from Team UAE. The home side have looked switched on and out for the kill.
So having a 3-match series against a test-playing nation like Ireland, a lot at stake for the UAE. They can finish this 2-1. It'll make a huge impact on their game and on their season as well. It's just starting off for the UAE.
Zahoor Khan 1 for 15 in his final over. 4 deliveries to go. Round the wicket. Follows the batter. Excellent bowling into the pads. They'll only get a single here. Andrew Balbirnie. He's been frustrated out there. 13 of 16, but he is the captain. He needs to stand up and be counted right now for the men in green.
Again, 9 legal deliveries left. They'll be aiming for at least 15 runs from here. Get us close to that 140 mark at least, if not more. But anything less than 140, Ahmed Khwaja, I think UAE will fancy their chances.
Especially with that opening stand that they got from Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien. They were steadily going at 7.5 runs per over till the halfway stage. This time excellent foolish delivery once again. Nothing you can do with that except bunt it down the ground. Zahoor Khan is putting on a death bowling masterclass here at the ICC Academy ground.
Yes, you have to take highlights of this over and watch them if you are a fast bowler, especially if you bowl at the death. Fantastic bowling from Zahoor Khan. This is what we were talking about. Ahmed, that batting lineup, I think Kevin O'Brien at 4 would have made a completely different impact at this stage. Of course, he did put in a great opening stand with Paul Sterling. I think he can replicate that in the lower order as well, but there's nobody that can replicate Kevin O'Brien's innings when they come in at 4 or 5.
Absolutely spot on. Totally agree with you, Abdurrahman. Oh, foolish delivery inside edge, but very, very lucky straight. Too short, fine. Akif Raja there. That could have gone absolutely anywhere. But it's been UAE's day so far. Everything they've tried has worked and come off.
And with the sun peeking out, just getting a little bit more drier, a little bit hotter as well, I think the wicket might just straighten up. So Ireland must be thinking either they have to score 15 runs in the next 6-7 deliveries, or they'll have to bowl out of their skins to win this game.
Most certainly. Andrew Balbirnie 14 of 17. It's been a steady vigil for him, not timing the ball as he would have liked. Chirag Suri, he'll be a key player in the top order for the UAE. Has a 50 to his name in the previous game against the same opposition. And they've reduced one pacer. Mark Adair has been rested for today's game. This time once again, it was a length ball, but Zahoor Khan gets away with it. 1 for 18 in his 4 overs. That has been absolutely brilliant. 1 over remaining, 126 for 5.
Top spell there by Zahoor Khan. Brilliant stuff from the UAE fast bowler. Just 18 runs given in 4. 126 for 5 Ireland. The last over of the first innings coming up. And Ahmed, as I was saying, Rohan Mustafa coming in to bowl that last over. He is an expert in the death. big responsibility to him. He's had an off-color first game, was dropped for the second one, and now making a huge impact in the third game against the Irish.
Well, I'll be honest, Abdurrahman, I don't like this bowling change, to be very frank. Okay, he's has 3 wickets to his name, but every bowler has his role. I would still back Akif Raja in this situation. He's not exactly quick enough to bowl at the death. If he gets his length even a bit wrong, bowls it in the slot or too short, is going to travel big time right on that highway towards the right of your screen. 3 for 15, it's fair enough. He's bowled beautifully, but you should stick to your seamers in this position. I think Akif Raja would have been the better option, but hoping for the best for Rohan Mustafa.
Well, Ahmed and Rohan have played together a lot, Ahmed. So I think for sure Ahmed Raza, the captain, has a lot of faith in Rohan Mustafa. As I mentioned, he has bowled a lot in the death and he's bowled the 20 overs in a lot of games.
Oh, good start there, right in the block hole. Tried to play that paddle sweep. Andy Balbirnie might have done a bit of damage to himself there. Hit right on the toes. And Abdurrahman Tariq, you know how that feels. He's down for the count.
As that ball hit him on his toe, seems to be in a lot of pain. Everything going wrong for the Irish at the moment. Let's have a look again. Oh, flush on the foot. That hurts a lot. Even with the spinner bowling, that hurts a lot, Ahmed.
He is in some serious pain there. Andy Balbirnie is the captain of Ireland. What a player to lose. Hopefully he'll be fine. It's just some temporary pain. Need to get that magic spray out there, but he looks in a lot of strife. They're only a week away from round 1 of the World T20. My goodness, right on that big toe, right on that toenail. That is definitely going to swell up and look black and blue in the morning.
Yeah, he'll have to go out and put some ice on it. It's funny how many times we've seen hairline fractures and just this injuries on a place where you would never expect it. He's wearing those big boots. And with Rohan Mustafa bowling a spinner, you wouldn't expect it, but you have no idea how much that would have hurt if it had hit his nail or a bone part of the body.
I love how he's wearing green socks as well.
Green
Really
shoes, green socks, everything is green.
And of course, look at that. It's already swollen up big time. My goodness. It looks like the foot of a bear. It looks like a bear claw, to be honest. And he's in serious pain. This could be very, very dire straits for Team Ireland. He's in a lot of pain. And in 6 to 7 days' time, they have the match of their lives in round 1 of the World T20.
Well, I think for that particular reason, he needs to walk off. As I mentioned, just, limp off. Get some ice on that foot. He looks in a lot of pain. Innocuous looking injury, that.
Umpires looking over carefully. The physio is working on him. This is the side replay of that, right on that big toenail. And immediately he knew something had gone wrong. We're hoping for the best here. Hopefully it won't be as bad as it looks. But you can see he's definitely in a lot of pain.
I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever had a feeling like that. Similar to when you hit your toe next to your bed. That pain.
That is the worst pain in the world. Because you have a lot of nerves in your feet, a lot of nerve endings. But he's on his feet. That's a very good sign. He may have to limp off here, but he's looking a lot better right now. 5 deliveries remaining. I think they shouldn't take a risk at all. Get him out of there.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to run as well, even if he can hit the ball. I don't think he'll be able to run quickly between the wickets. They still have 4 wickets in hand. And Ireland know they need to get at least 10 runs. Not more from here. Running between the wickets is going to be important as well. But Andrew Balbirnie would have never thought a delivery from Rohan Mustafa would have hit his toe and he'd have to walk off injured.
Absolutely, and you can see there the physio signaling that they need to get a new batter out. There's no way he can continue. But The good thing is he's not limping. He's walking off more or less on his own accord, but now he is limping.
The commentators curse even on the injured players. Simi Singh, the new batsman, walking in now. And Ahmed Khwaja, Rohan Mustafa has done something no fast bowler has done. Caused an injury to an Irish batsman and made him retire hurt.
Getting supported by his troops and the physio as they trudge him off the field. Meanwhile, let's get back to the game. The new batter is Simranjit Singh. Handy all-rounder, hard-hitting batter. Has a T20 I-50 to his name. That strike rate does not do justice to his striking ability. He's a lot better than that, but he does bat in that 6, 7, 8 role, so it's difficult at times. But if he can add some quick runs here, maybe 10 to 15 runs, get that score up to 140, that'll be very handy indeed.
Well, with 5 league deliveries to go.
Just surveying the field on the leg side. Rohan Mustafa is absolutely lightning between the overs. Excellent foolish delivery, worked away towards long on. They're pushing for 2, but they'll stick to 1.
4 more deliveries now for the Irish batsmen to get as many runs as possible. 127 for 5. Very much below par for the men in green.
Yes, it's been all maroon and brown today. Team UAE. This man has been an absolute game changer. 3 for 16 in his final over. 19.2 deliveries bowled. 127 for 5. Backs away, powered through, extra cover this time. Straight to the fielder Mohammad Usman, who's bobbled it. But the best they'll get is 1 run.
Mohammad Usman has not had a very good outing in the field in the last 2 games. This one as well, not easy to collect, hit very hard. He's dropped a couple of catches. But with 3 balls to go now, what can the Irish do?
Powered down the ground by Simi Singh once again, straight to long off. It's Basil Hamid in that hot spot. I can tell you he has saved at least 8 to 10 runs out there for the UAE. He has been absolutely spectacular.
Well, he saved 7 in that one delivery, Ahmed, when he stopped that 6.
Big full toss carved away past the point fielder. The cover sweeper will have to give chase. It's running away towards the boundary. But, oh, a slip out there. Karthik Mayappan. They're taking on his throw chance for a run out, but they'll just about make it. Rohan Mustafa very frustrated. But so far, he has bowled a brilliant over.
Yes, very well bowled. That was a full toss outside off stump to the left-hander. Interesting to see Karthik Mayappan was standing at deep cover. But in the end, they take 3 quick runs. 132 now. Last ball of the first innings coming up.
Beautiful Yorker there from Rohan Mustafa. He's bowled a brilliant over. Only a single. They're pushing for 2. Misfield, my goodness. And they're going to try 3. No, they'll stick to 2. So in the end, 134 runs in their allotted 20 overs. The UAE will be absolutely chuffed with that effort. They've done really well in the field.
Yeah, very, very well done by the UAE bowlers, especially having won the toss, decided to field first. 132 runs scored by the men in green. Rohan Mustafa. 134, I beg your pardon. Rohan Mustafa, the pick of the bowlers. They look chuffed, they look pumped, the UAE team.
This would be a historic opportunity, beating Ireland in a, not really a best of 3 series, but they have played them 3 times in this Dafa News tournament. It's 1-1 to each side, and UAE are in prime position to cause a huge upset. 135 is the target. They've been absolutely brilliant in the field. Rohan Mustafa back in the side has been a massive game changer. Taking a look at the batting scorecard for the Irish, then Paul Stirling 40 of 35. Kevin O'Brien getting a 50 in his 100th T20I game, 54. But other than that, nothing to write home about. Gareth Delaney, clean bowl by Rohan Mustafa. Andrew Balbirnie, the captain, was holding the fort, but then got hit on his toe by a Yorker from Rohan Mustafa. and had to go off the field. Curtis Camphor, 6 off 4. Kashif Dawood, good catch by Mohammad Wasim at deep mid wicket. And Zahoor Khan with that picture perfect Yorker, cleaning up George Dockrell. Only 5 extras given away. Superb stuff by Team UAE.
Let's have a look at the bowling card. Kashif Dawood, 4 overs, 26, 1 wicket. Akif Raja didn't have a very good day today. 1 over, just a 1 over, giving away 11 runs. Zahoor Khan, fantastic, 4 overs, 18. Ahmed Raza, 4 overs, 24. And then Rohan Mustafa, 3 wickets for 23 runs in his 4 overs. And have a look at that follow wicket. 85 at first wicket fell on. They could still manage only 134 in the allotted 20. As you mentioned, 5 extras, just the 5 extras. Very disciplined bowling by the UAE team.
There have been consistent middle order issues here for Team Ireland, but let's take a look at the highlights of the first innings. UAE won the toss, elected to bowl first in a cloudy morning, but Paul Sterling would not be denied. Beautiful punch through cover point. Akif Raja was hammered down the ground as well, back of a length, and Paul Sterling cashed in big time. Zahoor Khan was bowling in the power play as well, and there was no third man. That was a frustration for us consistently. Look at that, short third man, beating that fielder. Akif Raja gave it due chase. Kartik Mayappan had a tough day because of that man. King Kevin O'Brien powered down the ground for 6, and this time carved over that cover point fielder. Basil Hamid gave his very best, and this one was the pick of the lot. A huge 6, straight as a die over the side screen, going all the way. And then Rohan Mustafa, the 6th bowler, coming into the attack and immediately producing this superhuman effort. My goodness. Yorks him there. Gareth Delaney had absolutely no chance. He had a statement to make. You miss, I hit, and he hit every single time. Curtis Camphor then coming in, played a reverse paddle first ball, got that quick boundary. Kashif Dawood then given the responsibility of bowling at the death, and that was a very good catch by Mohammad Wasim. Zahoor Khan, unplayable. That is absolutely perfect. Superb Yorker, and in the end, Team Ireland could only muster 134 runs. So we'll be back very shortly with the run chase of the UAE. Stay tuned.
Good afternoon and welcome to the run chase in the third T20 international between UAE and Ireland. Well, what a great first innings we've got witnessing here at the ICC Academy. Ireland going off to a flyer and then UAE cramping back into the game. That's the scorecard in the first innings for Ireland. But before I give you insights about the scorecard, let me welcome my co-commentator, Faizan, in the combox.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. Yeah, what a brilliant start from the top heavy Irish batting. Paul Sterling, 40 of 35. Kevin O'Brien, 54 of 45. And at that moment, it looked like as if they're going to score somewhere in the vicinity of 170, but not to be. Garrett Delaney, 4 of 8. Andrew Balbirnie, 15 of 19. Retired hurt. Curtis Camphor, 6 of 4. George Dockrell, 1 of 2. Neil Rock, 5 of 4, not out. And Simranjit Singh, 4 of 3, not out.
Yes, and a bowling card for UAE, very impressive. Kashif Daud, 4 over 26 for 1. Akif Raja not getting a wicket today. Zaur Khan, 4 overs, 18 runs and a wicket. Ahmed Raza was also economical but not amongst the wickets. 4 overs, 24 runs conceded. Karthik Mayappan, 3 overs, 31 without a wicket. And Rohan Mustafa, the man for UAE, 4 overs, 23 runs and 3 wickets.
Absolutely. You don't mess with the Rohan. He was brilliant in the innings. Rohan Mustafa, the tougher of them all. 4 overs, 23, 3 wickets. 3 wickets at a time where UAE was on a back foot. He got the big man, got Paul Sterling when he was looking really good, and took a great catch to actually get him out.
Yes, and that brings me back to my previous point in the first innings. Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien were impressive, were impactful. We'll get back to that. Chirag Suri is the man on your screens for UAE, opening the innings. 16 matches for him, 430 runs and a strike rate of 112. That can be a little better.
Absolutely. But as time goes on, I'm sure, because he's the mainstay of this batting unit, he's going to go and look for big runs as well. He scored a half century in the last game. Mohammad Wasim, 4 matches, 40 runs. Couldn't do much in the last game, but scored 39 in his first match. Fourth game for him. Strike rate also a little lower, but this is early days for him in his career and he can do better. First ball. Beautiful drive coming in and great bit of fielding as well. Great cricket overall, Shoaib.
Yes, that was Kevin O'Brien who dived onto his right and saved a certain boundary. These are the kind of effort that will change the game in your favor, the momentum in your favor as well. Joshua Little is the man who is bowling the first over, 21 years of age, 18 wickets for him. Economy of 8.21. Good start, good cricket overall from both sides.
Wait on!
Next ball right on the money this time around. Back of the length. No swing for Josh Little today. He had swung the ball in the first game, in the second game as well. He'd been brilliant throughout the series. In-form bowler for the Irish. Josh Little started off with a foolish length delivery, which was timed to perfection by Chirag. Could not get a single on that. And that's thanks to some great bit of fielding coming in from the big man playing his 100th game, Kevin O'Brien.
Nice ball again, this time outside off. That is what Little is known for. He's very dangerous, angling across the right-handed batsman. Also has the ability to move the ball in to the right-hander. But on that very first ball, Chirag Suri hitting that glorious drive, I thought he would have gone for the single. But not to be. He expected that ball would clear the infield and go all the way, but in came Kevin O'Brien and ruined his plans.
Wait on.
Much better delivery again. Right on the money. Middle and leg coming in. And good forward defense from Chirag Suri.
Usually for left-hand bowlers, the stock delivery is the one that goes away from the right-hander. Josh Little is a little different in that regard, because he tries to come in and bowl those in-dippers up early in his spell. That if he can make it happen as a surprise, he would be amongst the wickets more.
Yes, absolutely. Outside off, lets it go, shoulders his arms. Well, he looks like a very compact player, Chirag Suri. If there's one player who I would put in the playing 11 for a test playing UAE nation, test playing UAE cricket team, the first name that comes to my mind is this man, Chirag Suri, because he's got the right mindset, he's got the sound technique, and a great temperament.
Good footwork as well. Decisive into his footwork every single time we see him come down the track or put his foot forward and lean into shots. Nice.
Shorter delivery pulled towards the mid-wicket region, and this is exactly why I would have Chirag Suri in my all-time playing 11 for UAE. That's a beautiful shot to end the over. 4 runs off it, and UAE have got some momentum going into the first over.
Great first 5 balls, and a shortish ball on that last delivery ruined it for Josh Little. And how many times have we seen that happening throughout the cricket that we've seen, and in this series as well? You bowl a beautiful over up front, and then you give away easy runs on the last ball, and all the pressure that you build up in the first 5 gets lifted on that last delivery.
Yes, the last ball and the first ball, I feel, are the 2 most important deliveries of an over. They can make or break your spell and also the momentum. Meanwhile, another surprise, a day full of surprises for us today. It is Simranjit Singh, also known as Simi Singh, who's been brought into the attack. Right arm off break. On the pads, nicely played by Mohammad Wasim. A misfield will get them 2 runs. Looking for 3, can they do it? No, they will settle for 2.
They could have gone for the third had they been a little quick for the second run. We saw Ireland do it a couple of times, converting those 2s into 3s.
What do you think of this bowling change? Do you think it's a good plan to get Simi in the second over?
I doubt it, because UAE batters are really good against the spin, so they would really want to take him on. And Simi Singh hasn't been in the best of forms as well.
Oh, that was a big swing. A big swing there. Ball has gone to the long on fielder from the bottom of the bat. Just imagine the power behind that shot. Had that come from the middle, we would have had to fetch it from Abu Dhabi maybe.
Yeah, it certainly had got the wings there. The ball from the bottom of the bat. Simi Singh gears up to bowl in once again. Good start for UAE here.
Coming down the track, straight up in the air. Fielder coming underneath it, takes a catch. Simi Singh strikes. And this plan from Ireland is definitely working for them. A spinner brought into the attack, and he takes the wicket in the very first over. Chirag Suri has to walk back, and UAE lose their first.
Big wicket. The idea was right. As I was saying, they would love to take him on, but the field placements were even better. There we go. There we go. It was not a bad shot by any means. The only problem with that shot was that the field was spread, and it was pretty high. He did not get the distance right. Got elevation instead, and that happens when the ball just grips into the surface. That might have just happened there. Chirag Suri, 4 of 7. Big wicket for the UAE. He was the man in form, the half-centurion from the last game. They would have wanted him to carry on and play a big knock. Not today. UAE 7 for 1, 1.3 gone.
Yes, the idea should be for UAE to try and attack Simi Singh. Ritya Arvind will do that. Aged just 19. 6 matches for him. This is his 6th game. 70 runs, a strike rate of 101. That will get better for sure. And Faizan is smiling as soon as we see Ritya on the screen.
Well, it's because the smile that you have every time you see him on screen is better than the smile you see food spread on your table.
No, that is a close call, actually. That's a tough competition.
So Ritya is as good as food for you.
As good as food for me, yes. He's food for the eyes, Ritya Arvind.
And that's food for thought.
And we have Faizan back in the com box. He's in form. Meanwhile, there's a single taken. Wasim gets 1 run off this Simranjit over. And the score on the board is 8 for 1. Ritya will face his first delivery.
So Britya Arvind can play some unconventional shots. He has had starts in the last couple of games, especially in the last one. He was looking very good when he was run out. And I hope that kind of mishap doesn't happen today for him. Britya Arvind on strike for the very first time. Simranjit Singh continues. Nicely bowled. Lighting it over. Good bit of fielding as well. Good cricket from Ireland.
Yes, very good cricket coming in from Ireland. They've got a wicket in this over, and suddenly there is a jump in the Irish bat fielding setup. Meanwhile, Ritya Arvind plays that into the vacant square leg region. Waited for that ball. It was not a bad ball. He waited for it and then placed it in the gap. That's a 4 on the last ball. So 2 deliveries of the last over have been played for a boundary.
Yeah, nicely played. Good start. Positive start for the young man. Ritya Arvind. 4 of 2. 12 for 1 UAE after 2. So I think whenever you're looking at Ritya Arvind, you should get those dabang glasses on. That would suit you, I believe.
Well, yes, Faizan is my fashion advisor, so I take all his tips seriously.
And that is why you're changing glasses these days, every single match, right?
Well, we only do it for our fans. 2 overs gone, UAE 12 for 1. Ritya.
I'm
is
one
on
of
four.
yours, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Meanwhile, change in the bowling. It's Craig Young. And what a cracking sound of the bat from Mohammad Wasim. He absolutely hammered that in the sweeper cover region. It's still travelling. That's how well he had hit that. And has it touched the ropes? They have definitely taken 3 runs, but we'll have to check that again in the replay, Faizan, because there was a fumble at the boundary ropes.
I think it was a misfield that came in because of the slide. He just could not gather the ball, and the ball travelled even further. The other fielder came in and picked up the ball. We'll have to see whether that's a 4 or not, but 4 runs taken any which way while running between the wickets. Good running between the wickets, yeah.
Yes, good running between Wasim and Arvind. Much better delivery closer to the off stump. Throw at the non-striking end, putting pressure Ireland on these batters of UAE. Wasim is looking good today. He is middling it nicely. Should capitalize this big game. This is the 3rd T20. You're chasing a modest total. Become a hero. Get your form in. Put out a statement, Mohammad Wasim.
Absolutely. You've got all the talent in the world. Everyone has been talking about you. That's such an exciting prospect to have in the side up top. Young player. Now just needs to put that potential in and turn it into kinetic energy.
Yes, that a little bit of science tip there from Faizan. Well played, Mohammad Wasim. Well, just to give you a fun fact, he has the, I think he has a 12 ball or 13 ball 50 in the Abu Dhabi T10. So he knows how to bat, he knows how to score runs, especially in the first 6 overs. Once he starts going, it's very difficult to stop him.
Absolutely. I'd love to see that. I haven't seen those innings of him. But I'd love to see him getting ball on bat, middling the balls, which he's doing today. He wasn't able to do that in the last game or in the first game where he scored 39 runs. But they were not so smooth as you would expect from a batsman of his caliber.
Well played, Ritya, again on the pad, straight to the fielder at square leg. Good bowling from Craig, he's mixing it up. But this also, again, is an indication of how the pitch is getting better. Because Wasim is actually middling it. He knows he can trust the bounce of the wicket. So that is also a very strong indication that the pitch is not all that difficult to play on if you apply yourself.
Absolutely. Wasim on strike once again. Oh, good ball. He was going for an expensive shot there. Looking for that expensive drive through the covers. but feet not going anywhere, and there was just a little bit of a hint of a swing to miss the inside edge of the bat there. Wasim survives.
I'm sure he must have received some tips from the head coach Robin Singh, who's with them in their setup now, being released from Mumbai Indians as they did not qualify for the top four. Played straight down the ground, middle it again, this time nicely done. There is a fielder, so won't go all the way. Good bowling from Young, just a single to end the over. 3 overs gone, 19 for 1.
Decent start for the UAE, minus the fact that they have lost a wicket up early in their innings in the second over. Simi Singh, the man who's done the damage for UAE, for his team, Ireland. Mohammad Wasim, 10 of 8. Chirag Suri, the man who has walked back. The experience of Chirag Suri is not going to be there in the remainder of their innings. The UAE, Ritya Arvind, one of the most exciting talents out there in the team. He's also scoring at more than run a ball, 5 of 3. So I'd call it a decent start for the UAE side. And a little while back, Shoaib was pointing the fact that the pitch is easing out. And this is why Kevin O'Brien and his innings become really, really important, because he's playing up top. And the big man Paul Sterling with him as well. That is why that 80-odd run partnership was very, very important, because the pitch was behaving naughty at that particular time. And that is why Ireland looked threatening. But what a great comeback from UAE in the later part of the innings.
Yes, spot on. Oh, that's well played, guided. Beautiful shot, waited for that delivery and then placed it in the gap, realizing that the third man fielder is inside the fence, inside the ropes, in fact, inside the 30-yard circle. That is an absolute masterclass coming in from Mohammad Wasim.
Brilliant shot in the gap. That is the best part about that particular shot, and didn't try to go too hard on the ball. Just let it come, easing it through the backward point and the point region. Nicely played. Wasim on 14 of 9. It's Kevin O'Brien's 100th game today, and for the 100th time on record, I'm going to say this, I'm not a huge fan of the third man inside the circle.
Wait, good loud call there from Ritya. So learning from his mistakes. He was run out in the previous game, but not today. We could hear that call in the comm box. That's how hard he screamed. This is good cricket again. You don't want to, you are allowed to make mistakes, but you should not repeat those mistakes. That's the key.
Absolutely, spot on. Curtis comes in, bowls it full, and Wasim goes big for the first time in this match. Hits it beautifully, powerfully. The shot of the day, I reckon, for a 6.
Well, 6 number 40, and this clearly came from the middle of the bat. Look at that, he just timed it. And that's how good he is. That's how special Wasim is. Once he gets going, he is a treat to watch. That's gone a long way. It's not a big 6, it's a humongous 6.
Huge shot. Wasim looking good today. 20 of just 11 deliveries now. Strike rate closing in on 200. And that is how he bats in the leagues that he plays in the UAE. Carries a huge name. Talked about cricketer. Just needs to come and realize his potential at the highest level, at the international level. And he's doing it good today.
Yes, that's right. Straight away, there's a message with the drinks for Ritya and especially for Mohammad Wasim, because they know that Wasim can actually win them the game if he gets going. Meanwhile, Curtis has been a little bit expensive. A boundary on the first ball and then a 6 on the third ball of the over. 3 more balls to go. He's given away 10 runs already. Nicely done. Just a nudge towards mid-wicket. Good comeback from Curtis.
Yeah, good ball. This is where he should be bowling. In and around that off stump. Don't give him too much room. Don't bowl it too full. Just back of the length. Good length deliveries. That is what he should be looking at. Curtis Camphor was very, very good in the first game against the UAE. Needs to come good for his side today as well.
Nicely played to the third man fielder. Good running between the wickets. Ritya absolutely gave it his 100%. As soon as the ball left the bat, he ran away, ran hard and got that run. So this is good cricket coming in from UAE. Boundaries and then a quick single taken by Wasim and Ritya.
30 for 1, 3.5 overs gone. Ritya Arvind is going to be on strike now for the first time against Curtis. And a Yorker. Beautiful ball. Absolute gem of a delivery to finish the over. Nicely played, nicely dug out as well by the batter Ritya Arvind. And it goes towards the backward point for a dot ball. Expensive over though. 11 coming off it.
Yes, 11 coming off it. 4 overs gone, 30 for 1. Right, so Ireland using 4 bowlers in their 4 overs. This is again something that Faizan is not too keen about. Shuffling their bowlers. 1 over each for Joshua Little, Simranjit Singh, Craig Young and Curtis Camphor. Only Simranjit Singh was the man who was successful. Got the wicket of Chirag Suri. Meanwhile, it is Joshua Little who will bowl his second. Starts off with a wide way outside off. And that is what Faizan wants to add, I feel. That changing of ends, that break in the middle. If you don't give a bowler a rhythmic approach, if you don't give him the time to get into the groove, especially for a fast bowler, it gets difficult to come back after every short spell.
And why do you want to change ends? That's another question. Beautiful ball outside the off stump, going across the body. The stock delivery that I was talking about, beautifully bowled.
Yes, and that stare, just a small stare. Those eyes say it all. Joshua Little looking for a wicket. He too is a very aggressive bowler. He's always looking for wickets. I haven't seen him get onto the defensive side of bowling. You will see him coming in, steaming in, and bowling those length where you would create an opportunity of taking wickets. That is a very great mindset to have. Again, angling across. Oh, great work. Brilliant work there from Harry Tector. Just diving to his left. And that's the Com team. The A team. Having fun here in the Com box. It's an absolute pleasure to be with these talented gentlemen. So yes, we will give you an insight of the Com box. That's how we look, that's how we talk, that's how we dress. And some of it has to go to all these gentlemen here. Absolute pleasure. Rock stars in their own right.
And Abdur Rahman pips Karthik's hairstyle as well, for sure.
Well, he's been looking for colours since he's left the Com box on that day. Nicely done again. Good bowling from Joshua Little. But again, a good approach from Wasim. He's not going all guns blazing. He knows he's got the time. He knows that chasing a modest total, 134, is not a very difficult score. So UAE need to bat sensibly.
Absolutely. I think he's going at the merit of the ball. So if the ball is there to be hit, he's going for the big shots. We saw a great shot coming in the last over on Curtis Camphor's bowling, and he was brilliant. That was one of the shots of the day. So looking good, Wasim, 21 of 16.
Nicely bowled again from Joshua, impressing us. with every passing over, every passing delivery. He's so good at that length. And he's not doing a lot of different things. He's just coming in and bowling at that right length and enticing the batsman to do something different.
Whatever little I've seen of Little, the fact is that he looks like a very aggressive bowler. Comes in, bowls his heart out, bowls those stock deliveries, then a surprise delivery as well. There it is, the stock delivery once again.
Yes, after a few deliveries, every time he will get that ball angling across the right-handed batsman. This time the ball keeping low for Ritya Arvind, wanted to cut that. And he's got the right field placement as well. There is a third man right on the boundary ropes as Faizan had requested. And then there is a square leg. A deep square leg. Beautifully played on the front foot, decisive front foot, straight into the hands of the cover fielder. No run there. 5 overs gone, 32 for 1. A change in the voices. It's going to be Ahmed Khwaja and Abdur Rahman Tariq.
Thank you, Shoaib and Faizan. Starting off that UAE chase, our co-commentators Mohammad Wasim and Ritya Arvind, two aggressive right-handed batsmen. In the combox, two aggressive commentators, Ahmed Khwaja with me.
Well, we have been talking about hair colors inspired by Karthik Mayappan. So let's have a bit of a mini wager here. Whichever team wins today, you're going to get the hair color of that team, be it fluorescent green or red of the UAE. Abdur Rahman, do you accept?
It's not red, it's grey, and it's naturally greying my hair.
Down the leg side, flipped away. Fine leg has a shy at the stumps, but they'll just about make it there. Leg byes given. So it's been a steady start here for the UAE after Chirag Suri went down.
Yes, they've started off really well. 33 for 1 in the power play. And we know Ritya Arvind can be very aggressive. He'll be looking to play those ram shots, get some more runs. And look at that comparison. Cricket Ireland was very much in front, 38 for no loss after 5. Then they lost the plot in the middle.
Trying to pull that away, Ritya, but getting the bottom half of the bat. Craig Young has a bit of pace, has a bit of carry. There's no Mark Adair playing today. Ben White, the leg he brought into the side, so he'll have a role to play, perhaps do something similar to Rohan Mustafa. But Mohammad Wasim, we've been waiting patiently for him to get going in this tournament, and today he's coming good. 22 of 18. He's a kingpin. He's a really, really top-class bat. When he gets going, no ground is big enough. Try that paddle and executes it brilliantly. That's going all the way for 6.
Well, this is what Ritya can do with the bat. In the power play, there's no fielder deep there at short fine leg. Brilliant timing. Absolutely amazing execution as well from Ritya Arvind. Have a look at that shot.
It was in the slot, pacey delivery, and just a flick of the wrist, and it sailed away. That's brilliant stuff here from the young champ, Ritya Arvind.
And good to see this intent from the UAE batsmen. They want to take some runs off this last over of the power play. Craig Young has had a very indifferent tournament so far. Gone for a few runs in his overs. 13 now of 1.3.
Short ball, oh my goodness, it's in the air towards deep mid-wicket. Mid-on getting underneath it, and he takes it. Ritya Arvind with one shot too many. And he's thrown it away. Disaster for the UAE. 39 for 2.
Well, that's a bit of a brain fade, unfortunately, from Ritya Arvind. Having gotten 6 runs off that ramp shot, could have easily just tonked it for a single. It instead tries to flick it over that mid-wicket fielder. Finds Kevin O'Brien, who's not going to drop these. So again, UAE starting off really well, but just losing that wicket at the wrong time.
Really shooting themselves here in the foot. 11 off 9, a 4 and a 6 for Vritya. He was timing the ball beautifully. He was feeling himself, but one shot too many. And Craig Young strikes in the batting power play. New batter coming in is the left-hander, very experienced, Mohammad Usman.
This is good news for UAE. He's got a very calm head on those shoulders, the big broad shoulders. Mohammad Usman, very experienced, 40 matches. I think he's played the most games along with Ahmed Raza and Rohan Mustafa. So they need that experience, that calmness in the middle now. They've got Mohammad Wasim on the other end, who, as we all know, can be very destructive. That 6 over long off, I think, was the shot of the tournament, not the game.
Indeed, he's gotten off to a start. He's batting on 22. If he can make another 20-30 runs, get a 50 here, that will put UAE in a dominant position. But now the match is right square in the middle. It can go either way, and this man needs to show his experience, needs to show his quality. Mohammad Usman, left hand, right hand combination at the crease. They did rotate the strike, and Craig Young is among the wickets. Nicely hit towards backward point. Brilliant fielding. Superb stuff.
The fielding inside the circle is going to be crucial for Ireland. They're not defending a very big total. Again, Mohammad Wasim is just trying to nudge that down to third man, get that single, get off strike. But not that easy with the men in green patrolling that inner circle.
Craig Young, 1 for 13 in his 2 overs in the batting power play, has done pretty well. This clip towards mid-wicket for a dot ball, so steady stuff. At the end of the batting power play, UAE are 39 for 2.
39 for 2 at the end of the first power play. UAE losing 2 wickets, and Craig having been hit for a 6 the first delivery, recovering really well in that over.
And both of the wickets of the Rahman were self-inflicted wounds. Chirag Suri trying to launch that ball over long on. Bowling out there, Vritya Arvind trying an expansive flick over square leg and getting caught at mid-on. That was their issue in the previous games as well against Ireland, throwing away their wickets in the first T20I clash between them. So need to be very wary. It's not a big score, only 135, less than 100 required. Surely you cannot lose this game.
Well, 14 overs to go. If you've got less than 100 runs, you're always in the driver's seat, and UAE will know that. They have a lot of batting as well. That bowler, Benjamin White, the leg break bowler, had a very impressive first match. Surprisingly dropped for the second game. Definitely stakes a claim in this lineup of Ireland bowlers.
Well, he deserves to be in the playing 11 for those shades alone, looking absolutely spectacular. Brilliant stuff, a la Graham Swan of England. The drip is off the charts.
Well, it's surprising how much time these players spend on color coordination. We saw Andy Balbirnie with those green socks and green shoes. They've got some blue and green to contrast with the green kit of Ireland.
Absolutely, they know millions are watching all over the subcontinent on Sony 6. They're watching on YouTube. They're watching on Free Sport in the UK. And I have an expression for you that I will share after the first delivery. It's a mantra that we should all live by. Nice delivery, nicely punched down the ground. So Mohammad Usman safely gets off the mark. If you feel good, you play good, they pay good. So you have to. So it's all about the aesthetics. That's a vital part of the game. 40 for 2, Mohammad Wasim. He does like to go after the spinners, but he has to be switched on here. Don't throw away your wicket. That's what Ben White wants you to do. Oh, an absolute Jaffa. Turning off the middle and beats the outside edge. Mohammad Wasim was outfoxed there.
Well, everything went right except for getting that outside edge for Ben White. Have a look at that. Drifts in and then turns away. The perfect leg spinner's delivery. That got me excited as well. Have a look at that inside out shot now from Wasim.
Once again, trying to flick that away towards third man, but Ben White is getting some serious rip off the surface. This is going to be a fun 4-over spell.
Yes, and again, you have a look at that field change now. They've brought in that fielder from short mid-wicket into that point region. He's getting a lot of turn, Ben White.
This time trying to swing across the line. That's not good thinking at all. It was the top spinner this time from Ben White. So he's got plenty of tricks up his sleeve. My co-commentator was the Shane Warne of the UAE domestic scene, Abdurrahman Tariq. So he's licking his lips at this. Beautiful bowling. And Mohammad Wasim is being challenged here. Powers it over extra this time. Abdurrahman, you should be predicting the lottery numbers. That's gone all the way for fours.
Well, this is his get-out shot. We've seen him play in domestic cricket as well. And Ireland must have done their research. He's very strong over cover to the spinners. They'll have to make that adjustment. That fielder is very square at point. That would have easily gone into his hands, but good reply by Wasim. He was outfoxed the first 3 deliveries that he faced and gets a boundary.
Yes, a much better shot there, playing with the turn. This time the top spinner once again just worked down the ground. So eventually they do manage to get 6 runs off that over. Pardon me. 7 overs gone. UAE are 45 for 2.
That turn that Benjamin White has gotten in this over will excite the Ireland bowlers. They have Simranjit Singh as well. He still has 3 overs up his sleeve. You might see somebody like Ben Dockrell bowl as well, or Paul Sterling. So far they're sticking with their fast bowlers. And Mohammad Wasim 27 off 25. So he's gotten off to a start. What he wants to do is now capitalize on it. Unlike the first game where he got out on 30 odd runs. And make this big. Get that 50-run mark.
Absolutely, the team think tank wouldn't mind him playing for himself a bit. Even a runner ball 50 would take them home quite securely. Interesting decision here from Andy Balbirnie. He's giving an extended spell to Craig Young. Going to bowl his 3rd over here. So they're doing something similar to what Kashif Dawood did earlier in the day. Both 3 overs up top. And then it was the remaining spinners, Rohan Mustafa especially, giving 4 vital overs. Here we go then. This time worked away towards that deep mid-wicket fielder. Bit of a cross-the-line hoik from Wasim. So I don't think he's in the mood to hang around. He's going to be belligerent. He's going to counter-attack.
Yeah, he has to back himself. That was a dangerous shot. But he got a lot of bat on it. That will give him a lot of confidence as well. Very strong over that mid-wicket long on region. We know that he can hit over cover and long off as well. That was a very dangerous shot. But as you said, I think Wasim has got that license. He's going to play aggressively. Try to reduce that target as much as possible.
It's a similar pattern to the Ireland batting innings. A fast start, and then after the power play, the run rate dipped a bit. Nicely punched through extra cover, but good fielding. You need to be switched on. You can easily make a 135 run chase into a 151 with some sharp fielding in the circle.
Yes, and with Osman on the crease as well, he's not the quickest of runners. So a run out might be on the cards as well if you're quick in the circle. But very good fielding there at cover. Dot ball. All of these are going to add up in the end.
Curtis Camphor there at short extra, doing really well. In the air this time, punched down the ground. Bit uppish, did not time it perfectly. But long on was pushed back. I dare say they should have kept him in the circle there, create some pressure on the new batter. But they're perhaps playing the long game, trying to make this target as difficult as possible.
Well, one thing to note here, Ahmed, is that Paul Sterling is the captain inside. Andrew Balbirnie has not taken the field. So he's making all those field changes as well. Lot of experience, Paul Sterling.
Oh, leading edge this time, just falling short of short third. They're taking a single. Bit of confusion. My goodness. At one stage, both batters were caught in the middle. Thankfully for the UAE, they both made their ends in time.
Well, that was a bit poor from Kevin O'Brien, not backing up that throw at the non-striker's end. That could have been a run out. In the end, they get two. Dicey cricket here from UAE.
This time spliced pull there from Mohammad Wasim. They're pushing for two once again, and they will get it. That is much better. That is much more in control. 50 up for the UAE.
Yes, that's much better running between the wickets as well. Mohammad Wasim, as soon as he had hit that ball, he was shouting 2-2-2, always going to the danger end as well. So pushing his partner. And 50 up for the UAE for the loss of 2 wickets just before the 8th over finishes.
Craig Young has done pretty well here. 1 for 19. It's tough work out there for the seamers. Down the leg side, just as I was complimenting him. Right on the spot, he's given a wide down the leg side.
He has to finish this over strongly for Ireland. He's given away just 7 runs. And Mohammad Wasim will know this as well. If he can get that boundary and make it an 11-run over, just eases that pressure a little bit on the UAE batting.
You can see the body language of the Irish fielders there. They're feeling the pinch. They don't want to lose this game. There's a lot of pride at stake. Slower bouncer this time, pulled away over the short fine leg fielder. Brilliant effort, and that will trickle away for 4. But that was fingertip stuff there. My goodness, that was so close.
Well, Mohammad Wasim, living dangerously, gets a top edge. That was a goalkeeper-like dive. Have a look at that. Just tipped over the bar, as they say. Goes to the fence for 4. Crucial boundary for UAE, but brilliant effort there from the Irish fielders.
56 for 2 then after 8 overs. 7 runs per over. Very, very close, intense game going on right now between the men in green and the UAE national team, the home side, looking for bragging rights. It's the third T20I between these two sides, tied at 1-1. UAE have done the job in the first innings. They elected to bowl first, restricted Ireland to 134. And of course, it is an ITW Prod G production, bringing you these live pictures from the ICC Academy. It's been a brilliant tournament, a lot of high quality cricket, some top class performers, and I dare say some top class commentators as well, Abdur Rahman.
Yes, I think world-class commentators. Ahmed Khwaja. It's been a lot of fun covering these matches. Very competitive cricket.
Ben White to continue to Mohammad Usman. Oh, once again, he bowls it so quickly through the air. Doesn't give the batter the time to get on that back foot. Very, very good bowler for T20I cricket.
He's got a very tall bowler as well. Leg spinners with a lot of height. Just add that little bit more extra value.
This time worked away to that short third fielder, and they'll take a quick single. Kevin O'Brien, not as sprightly as he used to be back in the day, but still a pure match winner with the bat in hand.
Yes, and he used to bowl a lot of overs as well. I think they're missing that bite from Kevin O'Brien as a bowler.
Indeed, on a greenish wicket, he can be very, very handy. Has taken plenty of wickets for the Irish in the past. And his batting, well, we know all about that. An absolutely brilliant all-rounder. Would walk into any T20I side. Foolish delivery, firmly punched to the extra cover fielder. Simranjit Singh, he's been a bit disappointing. I think they might think about bringing him back into the attack. And Curtis Camphor still waiting to see him come on. Energetic fast bowler. This time trying to slog it over mid-wicket, but gets it only towards long on. So Mohammad Wasim's approach, I'm really not sure why he's swinging for the fences. He just needs to dig in and bat the overs, and he'll take his side home. A bit of a mixed bag approach right now. Perhaps that is the dictation given to him by the team think tank. Of course, Robin Singh is in the dugout today for the UAE national team. Very experienced at T20 level especially. Short ball nicely, firmly hit off the back foot. With George Dockrell out at cover sweeper. So the game is in a very nice holding pattern, Abdurrahman.
Yes, both teams trying to get that extra inch. Mohammad Wasim, I think he's going to play his natural game. He's going to play those aggressive shots, and I don't mind that at all. They still have a lot of batting to come. Don't want to get bogged down.
Lovely glide towards third man. Beats the short third. It's Craig Young giving chase, and he won't pull it up. Mohammad Wasim has played a delightful shot for 4.
A good way to finish the over. They're just taken the 3 runs before that boundary. So 7 runs, keeping up with that run rate. Again, Ben White getting a bit of turn. Why not have a slip fielder there when you have an opportunity of leg spinner who's on top of the ball of the batsman at the moment? Mohammad Wasim looks exhausted as well. It's getting hotter by the minute. 41 of just the 32 deliveries.
Indeed, it's gotten very hot out there in the early afternoon as noon has come in. 7 RPO, the run rate for UAE, going along swimmingly. And Mohammad Wasim is in a bit of strife, getting some fluids in. That required run rate is keeping up with the current run rate, 7 to 6.5, so they'll be very happy with their progress. I think he might have a bit of cramp there in his left thigh, so the physio is working on him there. Let's hope he can remain at the crease and complete his innings as he likes.
Yes, I think case of cramps. He's standing up now. Seems to be limping just a little bit. Again, 41 of 32. He can finish this game just by standing still and hitting them out of the park, Mohammad Wasim. And I think probably that is why he's playing aggressively. He wants to get as many runs as he can from his bat.
Indeed, a bit of an impromptu drinks break here. I think it's well deserved. It's tough conditions, but he looks good to go now. Just got a bit of a massage, got some fluids into him, and good work by the UAE physio there. And we must compliment the Emirates Cricket Board. They've put together a brilliant tournament, a lot of high quality cricket. Taking a look at the UAE batting scorecard there then. Mohammad Wasim, 41 of 32 is finally come good in the big game. Chirag Suri disappointedly caught it long off of Simranjit Singh, 4 of 7. Ritya Arvind was looking good, playing some enterprising shots, 11 of 9. Now Mohammad Usman, the experienced left-hand batter, supporting Wasim, and they've still got a lot of batting. Rohan Mustafa, Kashif Dawood, and even Basil Hamid is there, who's been very good in this tournament.
Yes, lots of firepower still to come. We've seen Kashif Dawood and Ahmed Raza bat magnificently in the death. But UAE should not aim to take that game so late into the innings. A bowling change now. Simi Singh. He's gone for a few runs. Today he's gotten a wicket. Can he get those breakthroughs? Could today be his day?
Indeed, they need something special from him. Round the wicket to Mohammad Usman, just punching it to that cover sweeper. Very experienced campaigner. He's slowly but surely gotten himself into form in this tournament. And if he can just anchor one end while Wasim counterattacks, I think the UAE will be fine in this game.
The required run rate, almost 6.5 and over. So now alarm bells ringing at this stage. Again, it could be 1 over either way, Ahmed, to change the way this game is progressing.
Big swing towards cow corner. Mohammad Wasim is dictating terms out here. Gone for 6.
Good looking shot, that strong shot. He tried it against the leg spinner but failed. This time the ball is coming into his arc. And you know that term, in the arc, out of the park. Beautiful shot.
Absolutely nailed it. It was 6 as soon as he hit it off the bat. That's the biggest part of the ground. Into that green bush fence surrounding that cow corner mid-wicket area. And look at that strike rate, 142. He's just a hit away from a well-deserved 50. And we've been talking him up consistently Watch out for this guy, number 10, Mohammad Wasim. He's a big player, making his T20I debut in this series. It took him a couple of games to get going, but now you can see why. He's a beautiful striker of the ball, and when he does hit it, it goes out of the park each time.
Yes, he's contributed with the ball and in the field. That one contribution that was missing was with the bat. We see this in the decider. The three-match series, so to speak, your favorite term, the games within a game. It's three-match game, tied at 1 apiece. He's coming good when they've needed him. 47 of just 33 deliveries. And Simi Singh in a lot of pressure now. He's conceded 7 already.
Indeed, I think they're trying to buy a wicket here. They know that the percentages favor the right-hand batter and he will swing for the fences. This time bowled it quicker into the stumps, and solidly behind that is Wasim.
A good comeback on the pads. That's what they're aiming for. Again, they want him to go across the line.
This time nicely punched into the gap towards long on. So I think he's looking at having an eye at that landmark. Of course, this would be his maiden T20I 50. And if it benefits Wasim, it benefits the UAE. Works both ways.
Yes, as an opener, if you can score 50 runs of less than 40 deliveries, you're definitely doing your role.
Oh, giving himself room. That arm ball just inside edge onto his boot. Needs to be careful there. But Mohammad Usman, he likes to play that lofted shot over extra. A typical left-hander's shot against spin. This time tucked away towards mid-wicket, taking another dot ball. At the halfway stage, UAE are 71 for 2. And replacing us in the com box, it's going to be Shoaib Ahmed and Faizan Khan.
You can just sit on the ring. Guys, you can do 1 or 2 off. Just Youngie, you sit. Josh! And get a touch straighter, you're a bit wide. Josh! JR!
So after 10 overs, 76 was the score for Ireland. Meanwhile, make that even more better for the man of the moment. Mohammad Wasim gets his maiden T20 International 50. And what a great way to bring that. A loose delivery has been completely smacked towards the square leg fence. 52 for Mohammad Wasim. Good news for UAE.
Absolutely amazing to watch. The way
Come on,
he's
Whitey, come on,
dictated
fellas.
terms against the bowling unit of Ireland, scoring at 145. That's his strike rate. Living to the potential. Meanwhile, another beautiful shot. This one is drilled towards extra cover. Stand and deliver 4 more.
Well, he is in it to win it, isn't he, Mohammad Wasim? Now, this time he plays that into the extra cover region, hammers that completely from the meat of the bat. As soon as it hit it, it left the bat, and everybody was just standing watching the ball zoom like a tracer bullet.
Brilliant innings coming in from Wasim. 56 of 37. Pressure on Benjamin. Expensive.
Oh, clearly down leg. Will get a single. Will be added into the extras for sure.
Come on, Whitey, come on, bud.
UAE 80 for 2 now after 10.3. Brilliant start from them. Positive right from the word go.
And the credit has to be given to the management as well. They backed Mohammad Wasim. It's not as if they gave him a couple of chances and then decided to leave him out. They backed him. They believed in him. And what a great time to return the favor from Mohammad Wasim in a big game. The third T20 international. It's a decider between these two teams. And Mohammad Wasim has come to the fore.
So 54 more required of 56 deliveries. Not even a runner ball here. Next ball, nicely bowled outside the off stump, full. Trying to dig it out, play towards short third. Can't get bat on ball. Mohammad Wasim missing out on that delivery there.
But he
54
almost...
of 55 required now, Shoaib.
Yeah, he almost yorked himself. Could have been a full toss. Wanted to take a single, but that ball was going nowhere. End of the over, number 11. Expensive over from White. 81 for 2 is the score.
54 of 54 required here for the UAE, seemingly in the bag for them as of now. 8 wickets in hand, a lot of batting to come for them, a lot of experience to come for them down that order. Well, let's take a look at the bowling card for the Irish side. Josh Little, wonderful, 2 overs 6 runs without a wicket. Simranjit Singh picked up a wicket in the first over, has gone for a few, 8 runs and over. Craig Young, 3 overs 24, picked up a wicket going at 8. Curtis Camphor, 1 over 11 runs, and Benjamin White, 3 overs 22 runs.
Yes, barring that expensive over from White, he was very economical. Meanwhile, their strike bowler Joshua Little has been brought into the attack, seeking a wicket. At the same time, in the game, Ireland were looking very good. They had the 2 openers out there in the middle, and then they saw the collapse that happened in the middle order. So Ireland as a team would also be thinking of something like that to happen here. If they can get a wicket or 2, they can get an opportunity to get back into the game. Joshua Little outside off. Wanted to go for a big heave towards mid-wicket, not timing it, Usman. And that is, again, an indication that it's not easy to bat right from ball number 1.
Absolutely, this one didn't bounce as much as Usman was expecting it to. Just staying a little short. But Josh Little has bowled really well. He's the only bowler who's looking like an impact bowler for this Irish side. Wasim on 56 of 40 is going to take strike against him now.
Yes, Dafa News Summer T20 Bash powered by Sport Gully. Amazing graphics here. Some really good camera work. High quality cricket. Just to remind you, this is not a match between 2 heavyweights of world cricket. It's not England, it's not the Ashes. But absolutely same level of quality coming in from Mohammad Wasim. That has been played, deft touch, waiting for that ball and then guiding it. This is smart cricket from the very talented Mohammad Wasim.
Absolutely great shot. You were talking about England, and I think all the English batters would be proud of that particular shot. Absolutely amazing innings coming in from Wasim. He's looking into the groove of things now. He's doing what is expected out of him. Provide runs and at a good strike rate. 60 of 41 deliveries, 49 more required, 52 balls remaining. This is easily going UAE's way. They need a wicket here, the Irishmen.
Yes, coming round the wicket this time, played with soft hands. Will get 2 comfortably. This is good batting from Mohammad Wasim, and he knows it's a prized wicket. Mohammad Wasim does not want to lose his wicket right now. He's got the platform set. He can make a big statement. He's given out a statement. He can make it even bigger, even better if he can finish the game off for UAE.
Absolutely. Coming out, facing the first delivery and going out, facing the last. That gives you the kind of confidence that you belong at the international level.
Well said there, Faizan. Stepping down the track now and playing it towards the fielder. Misfield there. That's how well he had timed it. Mohammad Wasim will get 2 more.
Coming down the wicket, drilling it down the ground. He saw an opportunity mid-off inside the circle, wanted to go for a big shot here. Just couldn't get it under the bat properly. Got too close to the pitch of the ball there, Wasim, and that is why he had to play it all along the carpet. Josh Little, even he is looking a little ineffective in front of Wasim.
That's right. You've got a set batsman in who's playing on 64 or 43. Anywhere you bowl, he's going to middle everything. And again, a smack into the gap. No chance. A good effort, a valiant effort, but the way he had struck that Mohammad Wasim, it was always going to go for 4. He deserved that boundary and he's got one.
Great shot once again. Transferring the weight just at the right time, and the timing absolutely perfect. Brilliant stuff coming in on the boundary from the Irish fielders, but to no avail. The heat getting to him after that particular shot. 68 of 44. He wants to finish it in a hurry. He needs a cold bath now.
Oh yes, he will get all that he desires if he wins the game today for UAE. Cold shower is not very significant. But yes, Wasim needs to finish it. Now, we talked about how you can win games in the last over and how you can win games comfortably, where you actually emphasize that victory, a comprehensive win, a comforting win. That is the opportunity here for UAE to defeat a test playing nation in a T20 series, and not just by defeating them in the last over, but actually doing it convincingly.
Yorker from Josh Little. Nicely bowled, nicely dug out as well. Wasim is getting bat on every single delivery being bowled at him. 94 for the loss of 2 at the end of 12. Talking about that, I think spot on. UAE would prove a point that they haven't qualified for the World Cup, but they are good enough. Good enough to beat a team that actually has qualified for the first round of World Cup. And Irish, well, they will have a question mark there as well. 41 more required, 48 balls remaining. The question mark of who to bat in the middle order, because this is a top-heavy side. The top two are doing really, really good. But apart from that, nothing much of a contribution coming in from lower down the order.
Yes, 41 or 48, that's the equation on the ground, as you can see, pun intended. A comfortable win, and you rightly said, Faizan, they haven't qualified, but to defeat a side who has qualified will definitely catch some eyeballs.
And it's very good for the confidence of the UAE lads as well. If they know that they can beat a side like this who is already qualified, that gives them boost for things to come. And this is a young UAE side. There are a lot of young players. There's Karthik, there's Mohammad Wasim, and there's that man that brings a smile to my co-commentator's face every single time, Arvind. You know, all these young players have so much potential, and after winning this, if they win it at all, they would realize that they can go out, express themselves, and win for their team.
Yes, good insights coming in from Faizan. For a young UAE side, they've taken a single, and this is sensible batting again. Something that I really love and admire about this UAE setup is that there is the right balance of experience and talent. So you have got the experienced campaigners in the form of Ahmed Raza and the likes of Usman and Rohan Mustafa.
Chirag
Suri as well. So these are the experienced campaigners guiding the youngsters in the likes of Sanchez Sharma, Ritya Arvind, Karthik Mayappan, Alishan Sharfu. UAE cricket is at a very important juncture in their cricketing history. And I think from here on, things will get only better. Meanwhile, Usman is on the non-striking end. Wasim trying to go for a big heave. And that has been called a no ball. I think that ball just slipped out of Curtis's hand. And a license to go for the kill now. A free hit for Mohammad Wasim.
Yeah, certainly trying to bowl a slow ball there. Just couldn't get it right. And it's very, very hot. There's a lot of sweat in your hand. And once your hand becomes sweaty, it becomes very difficult to grip the ball, especially if you want to bowl it from the seam. There we go. Free hit delivery coming up. And a big shot coming out from Wasim, and this one has gone towards cow corner, and it has bisected the field perfectly for more.
Well, he's in a hurry, isn't he, Mohammad Wasim? And that's exactly what we told you. You can go back to our conversation where we mentioned once Mohammad Wasim starts off, once he takes off, he is never going to land. 100 up for UAE. And what a style, what a grand way to bring that 100 up.
And 72% runs being scored by one guy. That's Mohammad Wasim, and that is how impactful this innings has been for Mohammad Wasim. 72 of just 47 deliveries. He's becoming bigger by every single minute in stature in this game.
Well, 35 needed for UAE, 28 needed for Wasim to get to that milestone. Can he do that? Can he achieve the impossible? Inside edge of the bat will race away towards the boundary. Never mind how they come, as long as they're coming in for UAE and Mohammad Wasim. Another boundary, unlucky for the bowler, but Wasim will take that.
Certainly, runs on board for him. Why not? And that's one rare poor shot coming in from Wasim. It was too close to cut. He was going for the cut, getting the inside edge. But they say fortune favors the brave. It certainly has here.
Yes, just setting up beautifully shot. That's absolutely cracked, smacked, hammered, tonked. You can say whatever you want. But Mohammad Wasim has just gotten in a beauty of a shot. Get that on loop, guys. Get that on loop. Keep that playing all night long. Mohammad Wasim moves on to 80. UAE 108 for 2.
This has to be on Twitter trending. It was such a great shot. On top of the ball, really quickly. Quick hands through the line of the ball and hitting it in the gap as well. That has been the feature of his innings. He is able to find gaps at will now. Wasim 80 of 49. It's looking dangerously close to that 100 mark.
Going down leg. Curtis Camphor. Well, under a lot of pressure. He is a great talent, no doubt about that, Curtis. But today, he's getting some heat from Mohammad Wasim, not from the UAE. It's not the summer heat, it's the heat of Mohammad Wasim. Big Eve again on the onside. And it was right in the comb box. Well, we need helmets here. We need some protection. This was right just above, inches above my head. Mohammad Wasim, what have you done? We are a rare talent. Please take care.
And we've been praising you all day long. You don't have to kill us.
What have we done wrong, man? Beautifully timed, and you can see it was not followed, but I will tell you, it came right into the comb box. We need helmets.
Dangerously close. We survive. So does Mohammad Wasim.
Nicely flicked this time, Mohammad Wasim. Classic innings. 13 overs gone, 116 for 2.
And what an expensive over coming in from Curtis Camphor. UAE now require just 19 runs of 42 deliveries. And it's a matter of formalities from here on in. But it is a very important juncture in the game because that man, Mohammad Wasim, is on 87. He needs 13 more. UAE requires 19 more. So it would be very interesting to see whether he gets to the landmark or not. I would certainly want him to get there because he's done all the hard work. He scored more than 75% runs for his side.
Well, what a great innings coming in from Mohammad Wasim. He deserves 100. He's not out on 87 of 51 deliveries. Nothing is more significant on that scorecard than Mohammad Wasim's knock. 87 of 51. Chirag Suri falling cheaply. 4 of 7. Ritya Arvind 11 of 9. Mohammad Usman has got the best seat in the house. Witnessing this carnage from Mohammad Wasim.
And we've got the most dangerous seat in the house. Witnessing this carnage from Mohammad Wasim.
Oh yes, absolutely. That ball was way too close to our liking. On the pads. Sent back by Mohammad Wasim.
And the worst part is, I was looking for the ball on the screen and not from the ground. So I was trying to follow the ball on the screen. I wasn't even looking at the fact that it was coming straight at us, taking our heads out. In the meanwhile, a good-looking shot coming in from Wasim, and this one would roll into the fence once again for yet another 4. He's getting dangerously close to that 100 mark. Wonderful to see.
Well, you heard it first here, right here in the com box. There was a chance, an outside chance for Mohammad Wasim, and he's getting inching towards that elusive 100. Maiden T20 International 100. Big shot again on the onside towards the fielder, drops it. Oh, everything happening right now. Simranjit Singh is not an happy man. A chance gone becking.
Going to that ball once again, that was hit at us. Wasim was targeting the field, but he was targeting us as well. That was a dropped catch there. Difficult chance though. But at this level and with the capability of these Irishmen in the field, that should have been grabbed. 121 on the board for the loss of 2. So, yeah, the worst part is we were not even aware that it was coming at us. We only noticed it when it hit something in the com box.
Yes, that's right. And the next thing I saw was a shocking face of, I think it was Dockrell here.
Yeah, I think it was. Dockrell was really worried for us.
Yes, concerned face. Meanwhile, good over coming in from Simranjit, bringing some calm to the proceedings. Because Mohammad Wasim, like I said, is in carnage mode.
Absolutely. Usman on strike once again. Simi Singh. Nicely played. Usman doesn't want to take a single. He actually wants Wasim to have the strike, as the last ball of the over was bowled. 121 for the loss of 2.
Yes, 14 overs gone, 121 for 2.
Go on, Benny.
So number 10 jersey, Mohammad Wasim, 92 of 54, 12 fours and 3 sixes, a strike rate of 170. Before this game, his strike rate was around 90s, in the 90s, 92 or 98, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around 95.6. That was what his strike rate was, and it's going to increase leaps and bounds after this knock coming in from him. 8 runs away from that landmark. Nicely bowled by Ben White. Yocking Wasim up, tossing him on that delivery that was tossed up to the eye level. That is what coaches tell you. When in doubt, toss it up.
And straight down the ground. Has he timed it well? Yes, he has. One bounce into the side screen. And Mohammad Wasim quickly moves on to 96. This is destruction of Irish bowlers. You can bowl anywhere you want. The result is always going to be the same.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful hitting coming in from Wasim here. Next ball, single taken, tucked around the corner. Nicely bowled. Nicely played as well. 125 on the board after 14.2. 9 more required. 33 balls remaining. and 3 more required for Mohammad Wasim to reach the landmark.
Harry, just a touch, bro.
Yes, 9 required of 33 deliveries. Usman will look to take a single. And yes, he does that. He takes a single. 6 required. In fact, 8 required now. Only 3 required for Wasim.
Please do this for me. Keep an eye on the ball in the ground.
We need some security here. It was actually Little who was here, as he is now. It was Joshua Little who was a little worried about us.
A lot worried about us, actually.
That ball coming in. Can't still get that sound out of my mind. But I will have to because Wasim is on 97. Straight down the ground. Happy to take singles. Wasim gets another single. He moves on to 98. Score moves on to 128. 7 more required.
This is going to be the last ball of the over coming in from Benjamin White. His last over as well. Before this over, he had given away 22 runs in his 3. They've been expensive today, the Irish bowlers. Exciting stuff coming in from Wasim. Out of 128, 98 being scored by one batter.
Yes, a dot ball to end the over as expected. 15 overs gone, 128 for 2.
This will bring Wasim on strike once again. 7 more required to win. 2 more required for Wasim to reach that landmark. So early in his career. That would be such a confidence boost if he gets it.
Yes, this is just his 4th game for UAE. And all the focus has to be on Mohammad Wasim. He was just included in the UAE setup. Gets a game straight away. And he's come to the show right in the 4th game. We don't see Balbirnie out there in the middle. So clearly he's still injured. I hope nothing serious for him, because Ireland will need his services in the World T20. Next match lined up for you after this enthralling game of cricket is Namibia versus Papua New Guinea. That also promises to be an exciting game. We will be going live at 1 p.m. local time. So what do you think right now is going in the minds of Mohammad Wasim? What is he thinking?
Just wants to get to the landmark as soon as possible.
A big
That is
hit
what
or a
I'd be
single?
thinking. I think, knowing him, he might just go for a big hit.
A single it is. We'll take a single. This is good batting. I think this is the safer option because there's a lot at stake here. It's the first T20 international 100 for Wasim and for UAE as well, if I'm not mistaken. No player has ever scored a T20 international 100. So that, as I said, is a lot. And you wouldn't want to fail on that occasion.
Absolutely. A landmark knock would be remembered for a long time to come. In comes Craig once again to bowl the next delivery as we see the other 2 teams coming in into the ground as well for the next match live at 1 p.m.
Yes, I felt that it will be called a dead ball. He would back out because while Craig was going into bowl, the towel fell off his back. Always a distraction. That's how important it is to be focused. A little distraction can actually hurt you.
Absolutely. Spot on. 129 on the board. There we go again. Craig Young without the handkerchief this time around.
Tucked away. Is there a fielder there? Yes, there is a fielder at the fine leg region, so it will just be a single. Good news is that Mohammad Wasim will be on strike. He's on 99, 1 run away from a maiden T20 international, the first man for UAE to score that in a T20 game, in a T20 international game. And that is going to be a very special landmark.
Massive, massive for Mohammad Wasim. This particular moment, he's going to remember this rest of his life. There we go. Take strike. In comes Craig. And it's a top edge. And there he goes.
Well, yes, it is the man, Mohammad Wasim, who does it for UAE, who does it for himself. And look at that celebration. That tells you all. No celebration at all.
We need something from him to show that he's excited.
Well, he is not. That means... Oh, yes, he is. Okay, finally we see him celebrating. He was waiting for the confirmation, but now he's got that. Wasim, the man of the moment, the man for UAE. He's the man to look out for. And he is the one who is going to carry that flag of UAE for a long, long time.
Wow, what a moment. Everyone in the camp standing up for his century there. And in a low-scoring game as well. A game where only 134 was scored in the first innings. It's not like they were chasing a 200.
That's his innings, how well he's placed that innings. It is going to be a special one, the first for UAE, the first ever. Nobody's going to change that. Nobody's going to take that away from Mohammad Wasim. Extra cover. Point. Fine leg. You name the position, he's played shots all over the ground.
The new Mr. 360 for the UAE. Absolutely brilliant, that shot. Oh, amazing shot towards the longer side of the ground as well. Now this one, deft touch. Beautiful batting. Every shot in the book for him. Pull shot, muscled the bowling away. And then there was one that almost took us out as well.
Oh yes, absolutely clinical batting there from Mohammad Wasim. He's the star in the making. And today, we officially call him the star. Meanwhile, a wicket. What an anticlimax. After that high of Mohammad Wasim, finally something for Ireland to cherish about. It's wicket number 3. Usman has to walk back. Craig gets his wicket.
Just 4 more required to win. So rightly said, anti-climax. But a good ball coming in. Length ball on that off-stump line. And Usman just wanted to go for a single there, punching it towards maybe extra cover region. Just couldn't get bat on ball. Inside edge, cracking into the leg stump. And Craig Young gets a consolation wicket here.
That's right, wicket number 3 down for UAE. 131 for 3. Only formalities left now for UAE in this game. Basil Hamid is the new man in. 7 matches for him. This is his 7th game, 110 runs, a very healthy strike rate of 139.24.
And he's been brilliant in the series with the ball as well. He has picked up wickets, especially in that second game. He picked up 3 wickets. Basil Hamid, he was brilliant.
Yes, he is brilliant with the bat and ball, but really in the field, he's a live wire. We've seen him absolutely jump all around, gives his 500%. So he's a complete package, Basil Hamid. Does what he does best, takes a single, gives the strike to Wasim, giving the opportunity for Wasim to finish the game off. He deserves that as well. What a special innings, and it's been a pleasure and honor, and we will be a part of history for UAE cricket at least.
Absolutely. A century coming in for the very first time for the UAE in a T20I. Absolutely amazing to be a part of this historic moment for Mohammad Wasim and UAE.
Oh, that could have been close. Looks close for sure, but the umpire says not out. Will get a single there. Wasim is totally exhausted now. It is simmering hot out there. Not an easy playing condition. And you have Mohammad Wasim, who scored a century in just 61 deliveries. 133 on board, 101 scored by Wasim.
Absolutely amazing to see that. Only 30 being scored by the remaining batters who have batted with him. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely amazing to see. UAE need 2 runs of 24 deliveries. It's a matter of how quickly can they do it now.
It's not about how, it's about when, as you rightly said. 2 runs of 24 deliveries. Barcelona strike. In fact, it's Mohammad Wasim who's on strike. And never mind, don't get that ball, because that's gone out of the ICC Academy. Mohammad Wasim, take a bow, you beauty. What a great performer. What a great cricketer. Just doing it for his team in style. Well-deserved century. Well-deserved innings. This has truly been the Mohammad Wasim show.
I want to say what Ian Bishop said. Remember the name, Mohammad Wasim.
Spot on, Mohammad Wasim, the man for UAE. He had a lot of pressure coming into the game, but the way he has played, the character that he has shown, he deserves to be in the limelight. All the light has to be on this young, shining batsman for the UAE.
Certainly a star cricketer for them. Brilliant stuff. What a knock coming in from Mohammad Wasim, winning it single-handedly almost for his side, the UAE. When this match had started, we were thinking that 134 might just be a score that might test the batting lineup of UAE. Not today, at least. Mohammad Wasim had different plans. He had a dream. He has followed it up.
Well, had no plans, Ireland, against Mohammad Wasim, because they have absolutely finished it for UAE. What a great game of cricket we've seen. What a great show of character. What a great show of overall cricket. What a great skill of batsmanship.
Absolutely, but we should not forget the fact that it was Rohan Mustafa who actually kept the scoring rate low and picked up wickets just at the right moment. Let's take a quick look at the scorecard. Mohammad Wasim, the dominant scorer there. 107 of just 62 deliveries. Chirag Suri, 4 of 7. Ritya Arvind, 11 of 9. And Basil Hamid, not out of one delivery that he faced. He scored a single as well. So bowling card, Joshua Little, 3 overs, 19 runs. Didn't pick up a wicket. Bowled well though. Simranjit Singh, 3 overs, 21 runs. Picked up a wicket. Craig Young, 4 overs, 29. 2 wickets he picked up. Certainly the pick of the bowlers. Curtis Camphor, very, very expensive today. 2.1 overs, 39 runs, going at 18.5. And Benjamin White, 4 overs, 29 runs. And didn't pick up a wicket as well.
So that is the batting highlights of the game. Chasing 135. They lost their wicket early. Chirag Suri was the first man to be dismissed. Simranjit Singh getting that wicket. And then some good shots coming off the bat of Ritya Arvind and Mohammad Wasim. Built a small little partnership. But it has truly been, like I said, a Mohammad Wasim show all throughout. When you have one man scoring almost 80 runs off the target, it is not an innings highlight. It is the highlight of just one man. And that man is Mohammad Wasim. Ireland will be definitely down and out, but they have played well in patches, I would say. That opening pair of Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien did everything right, but then these two men, and especially Mohammad Wasim, took everything away from the Irish bowlers. And some poor deliveries as well, to be honest. Not in the money, the heat taking a toll on the UAE players as well as the Irish players. But because UAE are a little more equipped, better aware of the match conditions, of the weather conditions, they had an edge. Mohammad Wasim has played a lot of cricket in the UAE over the years. Had absolutely belter of an innings today. Playing all around the park, taking each and every bowler, and scoring at a brisk pace. 108 for him, not out in that innings. That's the celebration of Mohammad Wasim, scoring a T20 international 100. And that is the winning shot that did it in for UAE, winning the T20 international series 2-1, beating a test-playing nation, Ireland. This will give them a lot of confidence.
They came into the UAE Summer T20 Bash with one loss against Namibia and then one loss against Ireland, but winning it completely. So Ireland 134 for the loss of 5, and Kevin O'Brien scored 54 of 45. Good knock coming in from him. Paul Sterling 40 of 35, and Balbirnie 15 of 19. Rohan Mustafa, the man of the moment in the bowling department, 3 wickets for 23 runs. Kashif Dawood bowled well, 1 for 26, and Zahoor Khan has been impressive throughout, 1 for 18.
Yes, while UAE on the other hand chasing that total in 16.1 overs, losing just 3 wickets, and the man responsible for that carnage is Mohammad Wasim. 107 for him, the first T20 international 100 for him and for UAE in just 62 deliveries. Rite Arvind 11 of 9, Mohammad Usman 10 of 19. Craig Young was the pick of the bowlers, getting 2 wickets and conceding 29 runs. UAE winning by 7 wickets, that's the match result, and that is a special result that UAE will remember for a long, long time.
Well, Dafa News, UAE Summer T20 Bash 2021, powered by Sport Gully. The next match coming in for you is Namibia versus PNG, live from ICC Academy Ground, Dubai at 1 p.m.
Yes, that's right. That's the game coming up. So get your lunch, get yourself refueled, and we will be right back with the next game. Stay tuned.